Okay, we are recording. We are set to go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to session 48 of our Dice Fables Curse of Strahd adventure. I am Spencer. I will be your DM for this morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you find yourselves listening to or plus playing this game. Joining us today, we have, silently for a while anyway, Matt or Ariadne playing Redmond Gill, the host of the Legion of the Lost. We have Mia taking up the role of Rory Aurora, our rambunctious reservoir of Lathander's holy light. We have Abby playing Diana Moonsong, the Pathfinder of Illustre and Dark Lady of Illustre. I didn't quite write that all out clearly. I've scratched out a lot of things because names change a lot in this game. We have Riley playing Volk Moonwise, our inscrutable but miraculous menagerie. And we have Habiki playing Ireena Myth, our wise cleric of order, and Maiden of the Platinum City. So, with everybody introduced, tell me what's going on. What was happening last time, what is happening right now, and what is ahead of us?
It's the worst. So, we found the sun sword. And we had a plan to visit all the standing stones around Barovia to kind of like coax out Vampire so we can imprison him again.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided we'd go back to Vallaki, rest up, get our level 10 stuff, like stock up from the Vistani. And then when we get back, everything's gone to shit. Ismark and his loyalists have been put in the stocks, and Von Richten has taken over.
Yeah. Leaving a powerful racist cleric in a city that you, very racist city that you then told to just suddenly stop being
racist. Yeah, that wasn't
the
best idea.
And then sent a bunch of undead that had previously shown up to that town and killed a bunch of people for apparently no reason. Didn't go over very well.
Yeah, neither of those are finest movements.
It wasn't very smart.
But yeah,
I'm very grateful for the opportunity. Thank you.
I think he was about to execute them, I think.
Yes.
As Mac. So we arrived in time to stop that at least. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we basically are trying to stop him. He's got his mace that's kind of like mind controlling him or just enhancing his darkest desires.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be good to get him away from that.
It was able to frighten you right before the end of the last game. I don't remember who was affected, but I believe I marked it on the map so we could remember.
Only Ireena.
Yes, only... no, Ireena was hit as well. So Ireena and Ilena cannot approach the guard that is holding the mace on their turn. You don't have to use your action to run away from it. It's just the standard fear effect. But you are frightened of the person wielding the mace. Hello, kitty.
And Ismark is a big bird.
Sorry, what?
Ismark is, and there's some of the guards are birds.
True. Did anybody get successfully turned into a kitty cat? I don't think so. But yes,
it was only targeting one creature, turning into a kitty cat, right. And that was the Sabertooth.
Yes, became
Sabertooth got turned into a very small cat.
Yes, a house cat.
Ismark got turned into a giant crab, and the 3 good guards got turned into fast birds that have flyby.
True. Okay, I believe that is everything. Nobody has attuned to the Sun Sword just yet. Matt, by the way, had to add that last session was pain, which, very true. Yeah, so we can jump into it right now. We did break session, and I did change the map.
Oh, so they got turned into flying snakes.
Oh, flying snakes. Good to know. Thank you for reminding me.
I sent you the stat sheet of Ismark the hulking crab and good guards the flying snakes.
That's right, you did. V'ger. Scroll up. There we go. I can drop these in your menagerie real quick. Oh no. I placed the menu right on the menu on Roll20. I've made a terrible mistake. Okay. So, hulking crab.
Well, these are for you because you're controlling them.
Oh, you're right. I still need to find them. Oh no! I don't own the stat sheet for a hulking crab. Should have flying snakes though. I do have flying snakes. There we go. Boop.
There you go. Those are for you.
And cat. What I was gonna ask is because we broke session, we may have lost the initiative tracker. Is that
Nope.
true?
On my screen.
No,
No,
this-
it's I can see it. Ismark is next. The
Good.
pixies just went. 2 of them went invisible. The other 6 used up their polymorphs.
Good. Hello, Kitty. She has stopped whatever she was banging on and has come to join us. So, that is everybody there. So, we now can jump right into it. The pixies just had their turn. A bunch of people were polymorphed, which is good for you guys. We come to Ismark's turn. God damn it, my screen is fucking up. There we go. Ismark is a hulking crab. He has embraced crab.
3 people.
I need my screen to stop freaking out. Stop automatically rescaling. Fucking Windows. The worst besides Apple. There we go. Okay. Finally. Ismark's turn. What Ismark is going to do, seeing as the primary problem, the primary threat here is Von Richten, Ismark is going to attack Von Richten. His fellow guards have been freed, so he doesn't have to worry about them.
His HP is now the crab's HP,
It didn't.
which was the most important thing. It's 76.
Okay.
That's the reason I turned him into a crab.
This is good. For whatever reason, it is not adding the stat block to my thing here. This is very frustrating. Okay. 76, AC 17. Okay, there we go. So, Ismark, as a hulking crab, is going to come over and he is going to make attacks. 2 attacks on Von Richten. These are advantage because Von Richten is currently being grappled by Redmond Gill. So these are +7 each. He doesn't even, well, he has to move a little bit. So he's going to move here. So that he can reach over everybody's head, and he's going to snap at Von Richten. So we're going to have 2 d20s. So that is a crit on the first one, and a crit on the second one. Double crits from giant hulking crab.
Yes!
So that's a total of 80, because a hulking crab does 20 on a hit. So with a crit, it's 40.
Amazing!
I don't think Von
3d10
Richten has
plus
that much
4.
hit points. No, Von
Is he
Richten has
just
60
4?
hit points.
Oh,
Well,
big damage.
I don't
You-
think Ismark was going non-lethal.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
I can't
Oh.
believe it. That was a 20 or a 3, and then an 18 or a 20.
oh,
Wow.
go Ismark!
So there goes the rest of this encounter.
Guess we didn't need to stop the encounter last time.
Spencer, say the line. Say the line, Spencer.
Don't even
How
do
do you
this.
want to kill the...
How do I want to kill Von Richten? Well,
Yes.
Yeah!
Ismark, emboldened by the talk he had with Diana about having grown past the title of lesser and having surpassed his father and not needing to live in his shadow anymore, Ismark is filled with determination, and he snaps over your head, Redmond, and I'll have.
I mean, he could survive.
Yeah, I'll have Von Richten make
Oh, it
death
would be
saving
8.
throw on his turn. But he fully destroys Von Richten. Von Richten goes limp in your arms, Redmond, as the 2 slashes just destroy this very old man, cut him basically into 3 pieces.
Oh, God.
And so he is at 0 hit points. This breaks the... actually, no, the attunement doesn't break when you die. So the guard still has access to the mace. He is still holding it up. Ariadne says, "Oh my goodness," which is, Redmond says, "Oh my goodness," which is apt, I think. That's Ismark's turn. So we come next to Rory's turn. So Rory and Ireena, you watched Ismark become crab and then just destroy Von Richten. A fitting character arc, I think.
I guess I don't have to summon a celestial to
Yep,
do stuff.
that might be a waste of a spell slot now.
It was more to
I
send a
did not
message
expect
and less to
2
actually be
natural
of use.
20s in a row.
Yes, yes.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Which one of the guards had the mace? I think it was this one, right?
Yes, it is the one right in front of Redmond. This guy. He has already
Well.
hurt. He's not looking hot. I can't remember who it was that hit him, but he's not got a lot of hit points.
We'll fly next to him and we'll just... How about you drop that mace? There's no need for more bloodshed right now.
This man is going to look up at you. He is very clearly out of his depth, seeing their cult leader be murdered in front of them. He is shivering in his
Turns.
boots, but he does have the mace, and he is filled with dark beliefs and cult conditioning. So I would like you to make an intimidation check. He is going to contest this with a wisdom saving throw. But he's a guard, so it's probably not going to be amazing.
I mean, I'm gonna reroll that.
Fair enough.
Fucking hell. Every time.
Again, you still struggle with the charisma checks. He's not proficient in wisdom saving throws, so hopefully he'll roll a 1. It's a tie! Ties go to the defender. I can't believe that.
Nice.
He rolled...
Die.
Yeah, he
Roll
rolled a
5.
5.
If only Rory would have died and I would have switched over to my bard backup.
Yeah. So with that, neither of you make headway to each other. You are still a little. You are exhausted from the cold, so it squeaks out a little bit. You're also,
All right, I would have had disadvantage anyway.
Oh yeah, true. You're also shaken by the rejection from the sword earlier. So this kind of squeaks out as you say it, and then the guard just looks at you, and he just squeaks out a "never."
And I smack him.
All right. Well, that'll certainly hit. He had 3
For
hit
14
points.
radiant.
So he's just fucking dead.
I give him
No.
a sigh and then just smash his head in.
Yep. Did you want that to be non-lethal?
No.
Okay. He's very
No.
dead. The
And I
mace
would
drops
actually
to the ground
mace.
with a heavy clunk. You want to pick
I
up the
think
mace?
after this combat, I'm going to ask one of you to kill me. I'm done with
Just
it.
end it. If you want to die, you can just become the vestige, so no one else has to.
Yeah,
Come on.
exactly.
Did you
Okay.
say you were picking up the mace as a free action?
Yeah.
Okay. You pick up the mace as a free
Oh.
action. I would like you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Easy.
You. Oh yeah, we're clerics. Clerics do
Yes.
cleric stuff.
You are pretty good at these as a cleric. That is a 21. So with a 21, you easily shrug off the weapon. You are not afraid of it, and it is not able to force you to attune to it.
One would have thought Van Richten as a level 9 cleric should have been able to withstand the mace, but he's just a little
Well,
bitch.
He
Was
also
a little
may
bitch.
have been willing to be attuned, whereas I
Almost.
was assuming that you were not willing to attune to it.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, you are holding the mace. It is still light. You can see in the demonic faces that are around the head of this mace. They're still glowing slightly from the fear effect that was cast by the guard earlier. So while Von Richten is alive, you would assume this effect will still continue to take place. You can see that Ireena and Ilena look very upset by this mace existing. Speaking of, what is Ireena
Out
going
of
to do?
curiosity, if I would have failed and the thing would have forced me to attune to it, I have currently 3 out of 3 attunements.
Yes, it would have kicked out your oldest one.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
Which would have been the eye patch.
Yep.
But my perception,
And suddenly, no more perception.
Yep.
I would still be 27 passive.
Yeah.
Oh god. Well, I have 27 too, I think. Yeah, no, I'm 19.
Oh, wisdom characters.
Weak.
But yes, Ireena is here. She can't approach the mace, but she doesn't have to run away from the mace. What would you like Ireena to do, if anything?
I guess she would speak up and tell the people to drop their weapons and stop fighting because there's literally no need to continue just fighting amongst ourselves and dying.
Okay.
And I'm hoping this would be no intimidate. I would like it to not frame it as like, hey, drop your weapons or we will murder you, and more of a, there's no need to continue fighting, please stop.
Okay. So she will stand. Oh, she also would have disadvantage on attacks while the mace is within line of sight. That's the other thing that a frightened condition does. So she will raise her hands to the crowd. Most of them were running away when the fighting broke out. But seeing as most of the threat has passed, a few of them have stopped. And there's a bit of a bystander thing going on. She raises her hands and she says, "My fellow countrymen, you need not flee. You need not fear. You need not follow the lies of this madman. The Baron's madness was false and could not save you. Von Richten's leadership was false and could not save you. Our leadership, such as it is, we can save you," she says after a moment thinking. "We have a plan. We will turn back the tide of the mists. We will make it so that Strahd can never return. You need not kill one another, turn on one another out of fear. You need not kneel to dictators anymore. Forge your own future. I believe in you. Lay down your arms and we can survive this night together." So I would like you to make a persuasion check from Ireena.
Already did. It's not amazing.
13.
She is proficient. I hope that it was included in there. Okay, that's a 13.
Yes. They're peasants. It could be
She would
worse,
have
right?
disadvantage because of the frightened, so it's just a 12. So she seems to have affected some people. But, you know, it's less what she said, and it's more what the crowd was already sort of swinging towards anyway. These people don't seem particularly invested in anything as long as they can live. They don't seem to be true believers, a lot of them.
They could have just left these fucking lands when they could. They're fucking stupid.
Well, yeah.
Why the fuck would they stay when all they have in this land is pain and suffering and fucking tyrants and cult leaders?
It's their home. I suppose you can always ask them. But for now, Mia's turn is over. We come now to Redmond's turn, and Ariadne is back on the call.
Yes, I'm back, gang. So Van Richten's chopped in half. Ismark is a crab.
Yep.
And everyone looks like they're willing to fight, or do they look like they're backing down?
The guards seem very freaked out. What's your passive insight?
My passive insight
That would
is
just be 10 plus whatever your modifier.
16.
16. Yeah, you can tell most of them are probably going to run. They're not likely to fight. Whether they stay or whether they just flee is unclear, but they're not likely to keep fighting.
And so is dead.
Do we get 2 level ups because we
We get 2 level ups because Spencer's dead. Oh, welcome back, Spencer. Hello.
no.
Oh, 2 level ups, guys.
Oh no.
Hello, Spencer.
Here,
Welcome
hello.
back.
Hello.
Hello,
Yes.
welcome back.
What I was saying was that von Richten's cultists, sorry, with your passive insight of 16, just glancing at them, you can tell they don't seem to want to fight anymore. Whether that means they're going to stick around or whether they're going to run away, unclear. You can't really tell that with just your passive, but the fight's gone out of them. They're not going to keep attacking you.
What about the saber suit tiefling? Is it looking to
It's
attack
currently
me?
a house cat. It was polymorphed.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
So
it was.
It is not very threatening. It is about the size of your foot, and it is currently a big ball of very, very angry-looking fur. And actually, it was armored, so this house cat, I don't know if this is exactly how polymorph works, but this house cat has like a little papier-mâché harness on it with like a little papier-mâché battle mask that makes it look like it's threatening. But it's not particularly threatening.
That's amazing. I will kind of stand forward in front of this. I'll kind of like physically intimidate this creature just by exerting pressure and like getting up into its space, but slowly.
The house
So
cat.
in like and from the house cats, and then I will bellow out. Those who do harm to any Vistani or citizens of this place will face my wrath and will be punished.
All right. Make an intimidation check.
Okay, I'll use my session advantage if that's okay.
Yeah, you certainly can.
17.
Yeah. So with that, everybody is cowed. You have the ear of the crowd. You have proven yourself to be the most influential person in the party during this combat. So do you give any additional commands, or is it just don't kill any Vistani or else?
Yeah, it's okay. If now that everyone's kind of got the ear, I'll say to everyone, we will get this city back up in order and running. Those who have committed sins will have an opportunity to repent and redeem themselves. Through this, we will collect all the things we are burning, collect the citizens, come back behind the walls, and together we will ride out this storm.
Okay. With
Is
that,
what?
on their turns, the crowd will begin to listen to you. They will retrieve whatever they can from the fires, and it looks like the vast majority of people will going to be listening to you.
Mm-hmm. And I'll just end off with spread the word to your fellow citizens, and then that's it. At the end of my turn, and I'll say to the party, I think it's time we ended this.
Okay. House Cat's turn. The saber-tooth tiger is going to try to run away from you. Would you like to make an opportunity attack to stomp on this cat?
No, you don't.
No, I would like to grab the cat though.
Yeah, okay. Make an attack roll.
So I'll make a attack
To
roll.
see if you can grab it.
It's 25.
Oh, 25, yeah.
Oh, God.
So you see the cat goes to leap off the stage. You catch it in midair by the scruff of the neck. So you now have a very angry house cat in one hand and a dead old man in the other. A
Ah!
dying old man in the other.
3 dead old man's in theory.
It's true, yeah.
I would like to point out my cat was standing next to me and wanted patties. When you said, do you want to step on the house cat? And she just...
Yep. I have a snoring house cat next to me, too.
There we
Okay.
go.
My poor
So
hero.
the house cat is grappled and helpless in your hands, Redmond.
Mhm.
The guards get to
Oh, you
go.
can see her. Look at her. She's at the back of the table. Oh,
Oh, kitty.
kitty.
Oh,
Baby.
cat.
These guards are the... I believe these are the bad guards.
No, it's that's the good guards actually. That's the
You're
jailed
right.
guards.
These were the jailed guards. Okay. So the jailed guards are going to go. They are currently flying snakes. So what they're going to do, they are going to fly and land on the back of Ismark's hulking crab back, and they're going to make like a crown of snakes, and they're just going to hiss aggressively at everybody around them. So Ismark is a crab king. We come to the
That's an image all right there.
cultists. The cultists, very weak, very scared. With your 17 intimidation, they're each going to make a wisdom saving throw individually to see if the cultists are going to listen to you, Red. The DC is 17 on these rolls. 1, 2, 3. Nope. They are all going to drop their weapons and rejoin their fellows and begin listening to you. They're going to use their turns to leave the combat area and start undoing the damage that Von Richten had started. We come to Von Richten's turn. So he is going to make a death save.
Wait, he's alive?
He is. He just
Fuck
dropped
yes.
to 0 HP. He was not instant killed.
Oh,
Look at him rolling a natural one.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, unless it's
Please.
unless it's a crit fail. Okay.
Please.
Death save is just a D20, I believe. No.
Yeah, just the D20. Just the D20.
On my turn, I'll pump in a lay on hands, so he'll be fine.
No, you don't want to lay on hands, and then he gets.
He is.
Then he's waiting
Okay,
away.
he has one success. Ileena's turn.
Unless someone finishes him off.
Yeah.
No.
He's in my hand.
Would be
someone-
such a shame.
You would have
I ju-
advantage.
I
and it
just
would be an
wanna
auto
say-
crit.
I just want to say,
Tell him.
I have him in my hands. If someone comes up to hit him, I will glare at them.
I have a
there will
healer's
be
kit.
Well,
I can just
it's-
guarantee stabilize him without waking him up.
I feel like this exact exchange has been coming since the start of the campaign. So Redmond is holding Von Richten, who is teetering on the edge of life. Ileena, it is your turn. You have an opportunity to break Von Richten's attunement to the mace, if you'd like. You know how to break attunement.
To be honest, Von Richten doesn't really interest me as much. What's the guard doing? Like, is the guard, how to say,
Fuck him up. You want
No,
to.
he's dropping his weapons.
They haven't yet. They seem very cowed. They are deciding what they want to do, which they will do on their turn. But you know that you saw with your 27 passive perception that a lot of the guards that are out of this conflict have just dropped their weapons and rejoined. So you don't know about these ones specifically. Your passive insight is pretty high as well, right?
my passive insight is also a gajillion. It's 19 as well. So
Yeah. 19 passive insight. The fight's out of them. They're going to drop their weapons.
can I, for good measure, do like the smack on wood and ask where are my knights? Smack face on wood and be
Yeah.
like, where are my knights?
So yeah, if you want to intimidate one, you are standing right next to a guard with a spear. You will have a disadvantage because you are frightened of the mace that Rory is holding, but you absolutely can try to get some information out of this guard.
Let's go. Session advantage.
Okay, so flat roll.
Flat roll. 13.
13,
Okay.
okay. He will try to, not so much try to resist you, to just see if you can force the information out of him, because he's going to answer
If
you
I
one way or
scare-
another.
Depending on how much I scare him. Okay.
No, he is not overly afraid of you, but he is intimidated just by the situation. So you can ask him whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, where? Really calmly be like, could you please tell me where are my knights?
Your knights. Who are your knights?
The Knights of the Silver Dragon that I sent to Valaki to protect it.
You sent those undead monsters back here?
They are under my command now.
He shakes his head. He says, "We fought them off, and they left."
I'm gonna sigh. Let him go. Sigh again. And that's the end of my turn.
Okay. That is what he has said. We come to Volk, and Volk's pixies have their own turn, so just Volk. What do you want to do, Volk? You are bird, I believe.
Volk kind of circles in the air. I don't have any healing spells. I think they will tell most of the pixies to, take care. And all of the pixies except the one. I don't know if I can dispel without getting rid of the one holding the cat. So I'll just tell them to hang out.
Okay. Most of them had turned into the last turn anyway, so most of them aren't seen.
Yeah. I'll just tell them to go invisible, just kind of hang out in the sky. If I call for you, then come. And then they will... what is my speed as a giant owl? I do not have.
90. They're very fast in the air.
I think it's just 60, actually.
60
Regardless,
foot,
that's
60-foot fly speed.
that's 10, 20, 30. Yeah, okay. I have plenty of speed. So I'm just going to kind of land and deep wild shape.
Okay. Ismark will clack his claws happily at you as you land in greeting.
Do you want to get on that?
He clacks his claws again. Do you want to roll it?
Telepathically.
Okay. Yeah, so he'll reply. He said, I'm fine staying like this until the danger is past.
Understood.
It's not...
and I don't land next to a guard. I land over here.
Okay. He says, it's not forever, is it?
No. And the little dudes are tiny snakes, so they're clearly out of their shackles.
Yes. Oh, right.
So I will...
The, mesh.
Yeah. So I will tell... the pixies holding concentration on them to let them go since they're free now.
Okay. So Ismark now has 3 dudes sitting on his shelf.
Yeah. All right. And that is it.
Okay, so we're back up at the top with Diana. So Diana and Casimir, of course, you are looking on the situation. What was going to be a big fight is over in a flash. There's lots of intimidation going on. What would you like to do?
I'm going to use a medicine kit to stabilize Van Rick.
Okay. So that'll be, I believe it just happens, right? Because you don't need to make a check.
Yeah, with a healer's kit, I have 3 uses left, so it just happens.
All right. So you begin putting liquid stitches on these 3-foot-long pincer cuts on Von Richten's torso.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just
So
trying
Von
to
Richten is stabilized. With that,
just trying to keep him together at this point.
Gotcha. Anything you want Casimir to do?
I think Casimir's just gonna hang back. There's no open hostility. He'll just prepare a firebolt in case anyone does attack anyone.
He prepares a firebolt, and that is his turn. We come to the bad guard's turn. The bad guards are going to drop their weapons. The ones that can will run away. The ones that are within melee range do not. They drop their weapons and submit to your authority. And we are now out of initiative. You have defeated my Von Richten fascism Nazi rally. Well done.
There we go.
By the sheer power of love and crab.
Yeah.
Mainly crap.
Yeah.
Mainly crab.
Crabs
So
can do anything.
you are next to the Reformation Center. It has been mostly dismantled, but the cells inside are still there. So you do have cells if you would like to put the polymorphed saber-tooth tiger and Von Richten in. If you want to hold them, you can also just let them go free. You can tell that Von Richten is also still attuned to the mace because the mace is still glowing with that cold white fire deep in the pits of the eyes of this thing.
Are there were-ravens anywhere? Are they fluttering about?
Yeah. As you look around, you can see that there are a number of ravens, as everywhere in Barovia. There's always flocks of ravens around. You don't know which ones, just by glancing at them, would be were-ravens, but it would stand to reason that some of them would be.
Okay. And Danica definitely knows what's going on, doesn't she?
Sorry? Who was that?
Danica would definitely
Yes.
know what's going on.
Danica, yes, definitely. Danica and Erwin, led the resistance against the previous fascist dictator, and they were probably not happy to see another one come.
Yeah. I'm trying to think where I want to keep him because I don't want to put him in the Reformation Center really.
Okay. Well, the Blue Water Inn isn't too far from here either.
Yeah. I'm going to say to, I imagine Redmond, you're still holding onto his body?
Yes.
Okay, I think that if we can separate him from this mace, then he might be able to go back to some semblance of normalcy.
I would hope so.
I think rather than having him wake up in the Reformation Center, it would be better if we can keep. I don't like the idea of keeping him in one place by force, but if we can keep him in the Blue Water Inn, I think that we strip him of his weapons and his focuses, then he won't be much trouble for Danica and Owen to keep an eye on until we return.
Has Casimir demonstrated? Sorry, this is out of character. Has Casimir demonstrated any ability to remove curse?
Casimir, sorry.
I don't think it's on his stat block. Let me give it another look.
I can do it.
You can do it.
Volk can do it.
Okay.
I have Greater Restoration. I don't have it prepared, but I have it.
So I'll say in character. There must be some way to break this. Similar how that affliction that was affecting me was cured. Maybe you could solve something, Volk, or...
Oh, yes, of course. If we're resting tonight before we go on our long journey, of course. Just let me... Volk grabs the axe and places a hand on Von Richten's shoulder and uses the axe to cast Greater Restoration.
Okay. I believe that just ends a curse, right?
Yes.
Okay. So with your cast of Greater Restoration, the curse on the mace is broken, which automatically unattunes Von Richten. So the light in the mace falls dead in your hands, Rory, and so you are now just carrying a sinister-looking black mace with no apparent magical properties.
Mine.
Perfect.
Von Richten remains unconscious.
So this is sorted, but the city is still burning. I think, friends, it's time to make haste. We get everyone safe within the walls. Make sure all our allies, no one's murdering, everyone knows the status quo is that the heroes have returned, and they will not tolerate any bigotry.
Okay.
Right. We meet up. How about we spread the word, meet up here in about half an hour? An hour?
That sounds good, but how long have we been here, Spencer, already? Just like
This
few
whole
minutes?
situation has been about an hour. You
An hour.
arrived, I believe, it was like 2 p.m. And you had until sundown before the mists fully properly arrive. So it's around 3 p.m.
Yeah. We do need to rest before the mists begin to choke us.
Yeah, I need to die. Sorry. I look at Diana and I say, I need to meet the Raven Queen before the mists come.
And how do you suppose we do that?
There's only one way.
We don't have a way to bring you back. The Vistani might have something, but might have some diamonds.
Possibly, if they would be willing to help after all this.
If we pay them enough, I'm sure they would be.
I'm sure.
We have enough money for it.
Yes.
Wonderful.
I'll make my way to the Vistani. I'm the fastest on foot.
Okay.
So
That's
we're
perfect.
going to speed things up a little bit. We
Yes.
know Diana's headed to the Vistani camp. Sorry, what is that?
I have Revivify. So if I wait, if I do it within an hour or within a minute.
Yeah, it's
you
just
need
we need
diamonds, though.
Yeah.
I want to go shop as well.
Okay.
Because I want a plate armor. I think we have enough money for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ilena is going to be shopping. Red and Volk are entering into a suicide pact. Rory and Ireena are checking out Ismark. Ismark is still a crab. Rory also remarked.
Well,
that,
if it's been an hour, then the pixies are gone.
Yeah.
And the cat is now a big cat
this
again.
conversation was happening on the stage. You're determining what you're going to do
Okay.
with your limited daylight. Yeah. So Rory had just commented how annoyed she is that you're keeping. You keep all of these lunatics alive so they can come and bite you in the ass again. Okay. So.
It sounded very much like she would bash his head in the first chance she gets.
Yeah. Rory, Ireena, and Ismark are on the stage. What would you guys like to do in this section of time to follow? The Auroras and your brother.
Well, first I would obviously take care of Ismark, who is out of grab. When he's out of grab from at 3 HP.
3 HP, yes.
I will tell the pixies to release
Let's
him.
put him into Vistani.
Okay. Yep. Okay, so if you guys are going to deal with the victims of this lynching, mass lynching, you certainly can. Ireena, Rory, and Ismark can help deal with their wounds and help organize the survivors of this mass lynching. Diana's headed to the Vistani encampment. Rory and Volk are headed to the Blue Water Inn. I would assume is where you'd want to do this because you'll be safe and secured. And then Habiki is going to, or Ilena is going to, look around for plate armor and see if there are any stores open. That works too. Rory is going to call upon her experiences that she got with Teotl and her understanding of the process of life and death, being a cleric of the god of birth and also very familiar with the god of death, these two opposite ends of the life experience. Rory is going to help people deal with the shit they've been through. Anybody have a
She's done
preference
it surprising amount of times in the last 3 days. She's getting good at
Yes.
it.
Any preference for who wants to go first? What scenes do we want to do first?
I want to see Red die and fail.
I want to suffer. Apparently, that's my existence. It seems so. Let's go with that.
Okay. So with that, Volk and Redmond, you come to the Blue Water Inn. You see that it has been fully barricaded from without. And as you approach, you hear there is shouting coming in from inside. You can hear the voice of Danica muffled by the distance. She's saying, Bram! Where is your brother? I told you not to go out spying. You're foolish. You're just children. And you hear the squeaky reply of Bram's voice in return. As you approach this barricaded door, what would you like to do?
I'll knock on the door with my daughter and say, "Hello, it is Redmond here. Hoping to pop inside. The situation outside is safe now. Van Richten has been disposed."
You hear them hush each other, and then Danica's voice is a little quieter, comes closer to the barricade. She says, Van Richten is dead.
Not dead, but incapacitated and under control.
How did you gain control of that madman? If you are Redmond. Didn't you die?
We knocked him out and cured his curse.
Silence from the other side.
It's Volk, by the way. Hello.
I know you're the voice, Volk. But Redmond, you died that night.
I did. And like most things in this,
I don't think you've come in to visit Danica. I don't think.
I haven't.
So make a persuasion check with disadvantage because you're going through a door.
I'll just simply say I did die, and somehow, like most things in this pleasant place, I am back. That's a 14.
Okay. Danica, we'll see if Danica believes you. I should still have her stat block. Danica Danica. I don't. That's okay, because we can just use this one. She does not believe you.
Wait, what?
She got a 10,
Does,
which means...
does her insight have to be more than my... I don't know how that works.
well, you were trying to persuade her. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I got that backwards. I don't know what's wrong with me today, guys.
It's all good. Don't worry.
No, 13 is higher than 10. So you successfully persuaded her. You do indeed convince her that you are you. She breaks the barricade down. You can come in. Are you still carrying Von Richten with you?
Am I the safest person to carry Von Richten?
Would you like to roll an insight check on your party?
Yes. Please. That's a 9.
Okay. So keeping in mind that this is a 9, everybody in the party tell Redmond what you would, if Von Richten would be safe with you, your character. We'll start with Volk. Would Von Richten be safe?
Volk, I think, does not blame Von Richten for... Volk is weird. Volk, yeah.
But you're coming with me anyway, right? So it's...
Yeah, I'm with you anyways.
Yeah.
It's kind of inconsequential. Rory, would Von Richten be safe with you, right?
I'm taking care of the wounded anyway, so if you keep in here, I will make sure that he's treated as he should be treated.
Yeah. With your 9.
Yeah, absolutely. But I also believe the way he should be treated. Redmond's not an idiot. Diana, would Von Richten be safe with you?
I mean, I'm not going to kill him. I think Ireena might want to, but if he wants to get away, I don't think I could stop him. I'm not good at. You're probably a lot better at keeping him in one place than I would be.
I understand. I'll keep hold of him then. I'm not even going to ask him. I know Irena's feelings very well. I'll keep hold of him then.
So you can enter the Blue Water Inn. They clear away a bit of the barricade. You learn that Erwin has gone looking for Bray, their other son. Brom and Bray snuck out in their raven form to spy on the city. Danica is not very happy about this. There isn't really anywhere to stay right now. They've sort of dismantled the Blue Water Inn and made it a little safe haven. There are a few Vistani children in here, or children with Vistani blood. A lot of them are just citizens of Vallaki, which they managed to get in here before the mob really started rounding people up. Yes, you're now inside. Everybody very scared, but they're also very happy that you're here. And Danica is very surprised and happy that you are alive.
It's good to see everyone safe here. The guards and the cult following Von Richten won't trouble anyone anymore. They have the fear of something from us in them now. They will ensure that everyone stays inside and is safe. Do not worry about that. It is safe to be outside.
You can say that, but have you ever had your neighbors come up to you and sell you to those who are going to kill you? These were our friends, our family in many cases, Redmond. This is not something that is just going to blow over.
No, it isn't something that's going to blow over. But a great threat is coming at sundown. And for now, the fear of what was once before will unite everyone. And then after, we can settle the betrayal, the fear, the awful atrocities that have been committed in our absence. But for now, we need to hold tight, because the storm is coming, and we need everyone to ride it out.
All right. We'll
I'm
gather
sorry.
anybody that was in hiding, and we will do our best to get everybody inside. I can't guarantee there won't be infighting.
I imagine there will be. I am not very good with things like this, I must admit. The way that it was solved was by force, and I'm sure both of us are smart enough to know that that is only temporary.
She nods. All right. Bram, I will let you come with me, but don't take any risks. And you see Bram nods, and she looks over the children that they had gotten away from the mob, and she says, all of you, stay hidden, stay quiet. If anybody comes in, you stay under the floorboards, you don't make a sound. We're safe, but it isn't over yet. And she will give each of them, all 6 of them, a kiss on the forehead. And she says,
Oh.
no matter what happens, you are all members of the Keeper of the Feather. And she touches each of them on the chest and she says, you carry the hope of the future in your hearts. You need to live to light that flame. And so you see the kids go hide under the floorboards while you and Volk are left in charge of the place. Bram and Danica transform into ravens, and they fly through the roost and the roof, looking for Erwin and Bray. So, where would you like to go to meet the Raven Queen?
So, I need to die, right, in order to meet the
We
Raven
need
Queen.
the diamond first.
So we need the diamonds, and I think Diana is going to get the diamonds, right, from the Vistani?
Yeah.
The house is already
So-
unoccupied,
The
and you know that Danica and Erwin have run a very successful business for the past 10 years or so. Would you like to loot the house?
I would ask for their consent to loot.
They're gone.
No, I don't want to do this.
Okay.
I don't want to do this.
May I look your house?
You're not the only one
Wait,
there.
Just wait till they get back.
Okay. Volk wouldn't
Yeah,
loot the
yeah.
house.
Yeah. I'll wait. I'll wait until they get back, and then I'll ask their consent to help. Or could I have said it as they were going? If that makes sense, would that be okay?
I don't think so, because you didn't think of it until now.
That's a good point. That's
They
a good
edit
point.
it.
Yeah. Shit.
But yeah, you
I'll-
can hold yourself up for later.
Yeah. I'll hold myself up until they come back.
Okay. Preference for who wants to go next?
Who has the raised dead? Is that Rory's?
Rory has
scroll. You had a scroll of raised dead,
Oh, we have a scroll of raised
or was
dead.
it revivify? No, you don't, because Diana used it to bring Echo back.
I have Revivify, and that's diamonds, not a single diamond.
Yeah, but the raised dead is
300.
used for Echo. The scroll of raised dead.
Yes.
I don't have it prepared though.
Okay. Well, you can take a short rest at the end of your scene.
Yeah, that'll be
So we
it.
have-
Thank you.
We have Ilena, we have Rory, Ireena, and Ismark, and we have Diana. Who wants to go first?
I can go first. No one else wants to.
I can go last, like, it's not a big
Okay.
deal.
So Diana, you head out of the city, and when you come to the gates, you see that they are not manned. The gates have been completely closed up. Carts from the Airsex stockyards have been wheeled out and just completely blocked. So if you want to get outside, you're going to have to climb over the barricade or somehow get to the other side of the wall.
All right. Yeah, I'll try climbing over.
Okay. Yeah, you can get to the top, but it's a good 30-foot drop. So how are you going to make this drop?
I'll say Casimir's coming with me as well.
He does have Featherfall, so I think he
Does
has.
he?
He might.
No.
I might have lied.
Casimir has Misty Step, so he can easily get through. There's like a little gap he can peek through.
Very good. Very good.
But Diana, what do I have? Yeah. Could I just try climbing down the other side?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Athletics
yeah.
check.
She's being weird. Athletics. 8.
Yeah. It's a sheer wall. It's not designed to be climbed intentionally.
Yeah.
You're going to fall.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, I would
please
have
roll me-
disadvantage on that actually. So
yes. So you definitely fall.
still an 8.
Yeah. So that's going to be fall damage is d8s, I think. You're going to get 2 of them.
D6.
D6s. 2d6 bludgeoning damage. And you can make an athletics check for Casimir too.
He's just misty stepping, but
Oh, never mind. Yes. So Casimir is fine. But for you, that's going to be 6 bludgeoning damage as you land pretty painfully on a knee.
all right.
But yes, then you are able to continue on, limping as you are. You see that outside the gate there are signs of conflict. There was very clearly a fight out here. So there's burn marks on the ground. You see that there are scorch marks in the grass that's close to the wall, where they clearly dumped burning oil onto the revenants as they came through. You don't see any signs of the revenants here. You just saw that there was a fight within the last couple hours here. Days, not hours. Because this would have happened like the same day that you guys left Argynvost.
Yeah.
You continue on your way along the path toward the Vistani encampment. You see that there are signs of many, many trampling feet walking this way, as well as discarded torches along the side of the road. When you get to the Vistani encampment, the first thing you see above the trees is just black smoke billowing. When you get to the encampment, you see that the Vistani encampment has been mostly burned down. It looks like several of the wagons just took off. But as for people living here, there is no longer anybody in this encampment by Lake Zarevich. Yeah. The things seem unoccupied. You don't know how many people were rounded up by the mob and brought back into the city because you didn't check, and you don't know how many got away. But just looking over the camp, it looks like they left in a hurry. So you are welcome to loot or investigate as you see fit. You also know the Dusk Elf encampment isn't too far from here.
Yeah, so I think I might have cut out for a sec. Could you repeat like the last 10 seconds?
Yeah. The camp has been torched. It doesn't look like anybody's here. You don't know how many were taken into the city. You don't know how many escaped, and you don't know if the Elven encampment was attacked either.
Okay. Ask Casimir, do you think you know where they might be? Do you think they've left Bovium entirely?
He looks over the Vistani and he says, Vistani can go anywhere. I don't know about them. My people, we can avoid being seen if we wish. We are good at it. But them, their carts can travel worlds. There's no telling where they went.
It looks like we're out of luck then. You wouldn't happen to know anyone in your encampment that has between 300 and 500 gold's worth of diamonds, would you?
Sadly, we are not that wealthy.
Yeah,
Although it does look
didn't
like
think
they
so.
left. They left the tents up at the very least. We could have a look. My lady.
I don't like the idea of stealing, but I suppose I can leave some gold in its place. If we do find anything.
He says, oh, what would Illustre value?
I think she would want me to do the right thing in the long run. I don't think she's too concerned with property rights, as long as debts are repaid.
He nods.
And
He says,
make it up to the Vistani in the future.
that seems reasonable. I will follow your lead. So, you can make an investigation check with advantage to see if you find anything.
All right. That's just normal because of the exhaustion. Investigation. 14.
14, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, what were you going to say, Volk?
Sorry. I was just looking through the loot, and we have 15 gems worth 100 each, and 30 gems worth 50 each. Are any of those diamonds?
Several of them would be, yes.
Then is there 300 worth?
Not all of them would be diamonds. So
Yeah.
probably not 300 of diamonds.
But how much of diamonds?
That is a great question. It doesn't specify in the book.
Yeah. It's essentially 3,000 GP worth of gems.
When it says like assault of gems in the book, I think it generally means like
Yeah.
just
There's going to be like at least 10
useless
types of gems
gems.
in there.
Yeah.
So maybe a tenth of that?
Right. Okay,
Yeah,
so that's
usually
300.
very thorough when it comes to actually naming diamonds, though. Like gems
they
is
are
just
starting
random,
on it.
and when it's diamonds, they specifically say diamonds for the specific reason.
Okay. So no.
It's basically they don't want
So
you to
none
have
of them are
the gold,
diamonds.
They just want you to have the gold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some would be.
I thought it was worth checking.
This is a good idea. You guys always forget the loot you're carrying, so it is good to remember.
I wrote it all down.
Good.
I'm gonna wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do I find with 14?
With a
Investigation.
14, you find the wine cart was left behind. So you have
Fuck yeah.
an entire cart full of booze. It was towards the edge of the lake, so it wasn't actually too badly burned. There are many different reserves of wine in here. You don't really think to look in there with a 14. You just know it's intact. You can do whatever you want with that information. With the 14, the main tent where the party was had, where you guys had your party, and girl named Arabelle did the fortune reading for Rory about the mirror. You find that tent was completely burned to the ground, but within you do indeed find the little chest that Luvash was using to do trade deals with people that came into the encampment. Within you find 300 gold worth of diamonds. Isn't that many diamonds because they're pretty rare. Yeah, you find 300 gold worth of diamonds in there.
Okay.
The trade-off is it's going to take you like 3 hours to do all this searching because the 14 wasn't that great.
Okay.
So you're approaching sundown now.
When I get those diamonds, then I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna take from the party loot and leave 600 golds in its stead.
Okay. Yeah. So you leave 600 gold. You can bury the chest back in its spot in the middle of the tent.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can head back. So that was around 3 o'clock. 3 more hours. You're looking at around 6 or 7 by the time you're done.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just head back to town as soon as possible then.
So you head back ASAP. We can jump to Rory. So Rory, Ireena, and Ismark. Ismark comes back out of crab form, very badly hurt. Did you have anything you want to talk to them about specifically?
I mean, first things first. So it's just done. Where's my cure wounds? Why do I not have cure wounds prepared? Something seems wrong.
Oh, that's weird, yeah.
Ireena's going to pump 20 points of Leon heads into him, so he's not almost dead anymore.
Very good, very good. So he's at 23.
I don't get these people. Why do they stay here? They suffered on Strahd. They suffered under the Baron. Then they finally got something that was close to normal life for a bit. Got rid of Strahd, so they could have left, but they just stayed and then decided to go into the hands of the next maniac. Why the fuck do they not just leave? I mean, I understand that some people have like that they feel at home in a certain place. I mean, can't really understand, I guess, since I never had that feeling, but Barovia of all places?
You see, Ismark and Ireena give each other a look, and Ismark says, part of it is the home. Part of it, I'm afraid, is fear. And fear over a long time makes you do and think terrible things. And when you are always afraid, you prioritize things very harshly, I think. And Ireena nods, and she will continue and say, when you are afraid, you pick and choose what is important to you. And if you do that for long enough, everything that isn't important to you is disposable and even more terrifying. Ismark says, I don't know why exactly. I would never do something like this to anyone, but clearly these are things that a lot of people would do to one another. And I don't know what to do about it. I can I can feed them, I can clothe them, I can give them work to do, and I can give them community, but they will still turn on each other, it seems. No matter what we do, there will always be people who will sell each other out for a little sense of security, or maybe superiority. He sighs. He says, I am lost. My father, he did this sort of thing to me, to Ireena. When the mother died, he turned to drink and he hurt her, and I got in the way as much as I could to stop him. I understand why he did it. She reminded him of our mother, even though he never acknowledged that she was his daughter. I think he saw her face in your face, Ireena, and I did my best to stop him. But I don't have an answer, just that he was hurting, and he had to stop hurting somehow. And if that meant he had to be hurting me, that was something I was willing to do, because I loved him. And Ireena will interrupt him at this point and say, Ismark, you never had to do that. We never should have stayed with him. We should have left. Her voice breaks. She says, I slipped him poison that last night before he died. I got it from that old woman, Morgantha. I traded... I told her about my dreams in exchange for a poison, and I slipped it into his drink, and he didn't wake up. And I never told you, because I thought it would be better if you could believe that he was just sick, and maybe he would have gotten better, and maybe you could remain hopeful. And she's shaking, holding Rory's hand. She says, I killed our father, Ismark, and I would do it again. Because, like you were saying, people will always do this. It doesn't matter how secure or how safe things are, there will always be people who, for whatever reason, hate one another and need to feel strong in the worst way. You are not like that. None of us are like that. We can We can understand the fear, Ismark, but we don't have to condone it. We don't have to forgive it. We don't have to justify it. These things our father did, the things that the people of this city did, are evil and selfish and unforgivable. And Ismark looks at her, shock on his face, and he says, I don't know if I can write them off. You killed our father. I don't... he looks off into the distance with tears in his eyes. He says, I think I'm grateful that it was you. I wish it didn't have to be this way. I wish there was a way to fix everything. I wish it didn't have to be violence. All the time, always violence. Then he will turn back to the two of you now, and he will pull you both into a hug, and he will say, I forgive you, Ireena. Both for killing our father, not that I'm mad at you or anything, but and for not telling me. And Rory, I don't know, you look like you need to be forgiven for something for your own conscience. You are my family, both of you. I would never do the things these people did, but you are my people. And whatever I do, I am doing so that we can have a world fit for the two of you. I love you, my sisters. And you will have a big emotional hug with lots of crying.
Oh.
Do you have anything to add, Mia?
First of all, I would obviously return the hug as much as he needs it to.
Yes.
And
there's lots
once
of
he is ready to let go and try to continue. We tried a lot with these people. And it seems that the only thing that gets them moving is fear. I don't say this like, but maybe for their own well-being, it is better to chase them out of these cursed lands. Show them that there is a world where they don't have to be afraid for their life, for their well-being, for their loved ones, every single day and night. That they can maybe find a place where they can truly live and not have this charade of living, of running around afraid, thinking every night that they will not make it to the next day.
So not violence, relocation.
Sure, there will not be a need for violence. I'm pretty sure there would be plenty of ways to get them out of these lands without that. But they seem to be unwilling to leave these lands, and no matter what we will manage to achieve or not, if we will manage to get Vampire locked up again or not, this is still a dread realm. This place is supposed to be misery. Place is supposed to be fear, negativity, violence. People are not supposed to live here.
No.
It's supposed to be a prison, torturing the one that is supposedly locked away here. Why should they be here? They shouldn't be subjects to this torture.
Ireena is making eye contact this whole time, and she says, only the ones in prison should suffer. Everyone else goes free. And you share a knowing look that goes beyond Ismark's notice. as you're helping get the survivors together. The Vistani that are amongst them, as well as the people who simply have Vistani in their heritage, which are a lot of people. They gather together, they help each other, and they reach out hands. The people that lock them up in chains, they're not very nice to, but they take their weapons, and now they are armed with the weapons, and they start directing people to clean this shit up. You don't know how long that is going to remain peaceful, but for now, the victims are armed and are fixing shit.
Prisoners and jailers. The only ones who are supposed to be in jail.
With
This
that,
is a
sorry.
big amount of work.
Yes. With that, we can go to a shopping trip. So, Ileena, you head out from the
Me.
town square. Everything is on fire and barricaded. Where are you going shopping?
So I'd say I would try to renovate my, I think, already tattered kind of, admiral's coat I got the last time before we left for Lucky.
Yep.
So I'd like to renovate that and probably just buy a full plate
Yeah.
somewhere.
You go back to the clothing store where you got the jacket. It is closed. The doors are locked. There's no lights on inside. Nobody's around. You know that there's a smithy in town. You don't know where it is, but I'm sure you can ask somebody if you would like to go check if the smithy is open too.
Yes, I would like to just ask somebody to see if
They are able to direct you, and when you arrive to the smithy, it is also closed.
I'll just ask like where the ones that directed both the smithy and the clothing shop
Yeah.
like captured by Van Richten
Yeah.
when he got
Roll me a d100 for the clothing shop.
okay. 83.
Yeah. So the clothing shop manufacturer, or the seamster of the clothing shop, was accused of being a secret Vistani, and so is currently in the group that Rory and Ireena are with. Roll another d100 for me for the armor smith.
I will. 36.
Yeah. He was not. The armor smith turned out to be a big fan of the Purge and to be a big anti-Vistani racist. And so he was involved in the rounding up of people. So you can certainly track down either one of these if you would like. But
I would.
in the time allotted, you get one.
Well, it will be the armor smith. I need
Okay.
that armor. I need to be tankier for what's
Yeah.
about to come.
Yeah. So you can certainly find the armor smith. People will direct you to where he was. He was towards the outskirts. He was. It turns out he's a particularly cruel individual, and was making the Vistani bring out their own, or the people accused of being Vistani bring out their own wealth from their houses before they were going to be taken away to be sacrificed and their blood used in the ritual that Von Richten would protect the town with. So he was beaten pretty badly after the mace was unattuned by the Vistani, and him and his group that were plundering their neighbors, they're currently tied up together as the Vistani are retrieving their things from the pile. He made them put it on. So this is the scene you find as you arrive. They've been beaten within an inch of their lives.
Okay, I'll just, go down in front of him, look him in the eyes, and be like, all right, I am not one for crazy words or anything. You might have known that. I talk directly to the point. So you have a choice, my dear. I wouldn't say that to your friend. My dear Armorsmith. You have to remain here and probably get beaten into a bloody pulp a second time.
You see
Or-
he's squinting up at you through one black eye.
And I'll join. Or you could get untied. Tell me something I need. And maybe you won't get beaten to death.
You see he looks around at everybody around him, and he says, "I don't want to be beaten to death."
I guess you made a choice.
He nods, and he is not happy about it, but he will allow himself to be led back, and he can fashion you some plate armor. It's not going to be a nice fit, but mechanically you have a full suit of plate again. You said you were going to pay him.
Yep. Did I? Did I ever say that? Did I ever say that,
When he
Spencer?
passes
you
the plate
said.
to you, he will say, "That would be the 1,000 gold pieces."
I will I would have had the money on me because I thought he was telling, so I am gonna pay him 1,000. Oh, by the way, I brought him to the smithy on sword point.
I'll remove 1,000 from the party.
Alright.
Might have
Then I want to
to
turn
pay
him
back.
around
Yeah.
and sword point walk him back to where he was and leave him there.
Okay, so you leave the gold on the counter. He
Yes.
looks at it, and you see a gleam in his eye as he looks at the gold. And he looks back up at you through his not black eye, and he says, "You're just going to leave my gold there? Anyone can come in and take it."
Oh, you did the same to the Vistani house.
You see he sets his jaw, and you hear cracking as he grinds his teeth together. But you can force him back at sword point. Back into
Yeah, well,
his prison.
I'll give him the warmest smile ever. The most charming, newly whole Ilena smile ever.
Yeah. You force him back to the circle. You tie him back up with everybody else, and we finally come. Yes.
Yeah, after I tie him, I'll be like, I met a really nice lady up in the mountain. She is really tall, and she hits really hard on the face. I would not recommend you to do anything while I'm around.
You see his face is unchanged. He says, "Women aren't so tough."
Can I break his nose?
Hey, there you go. You don't even have to roll for it. He's tied up at this point. You smash his nose in, and he just sits there crying, tied up.
A gift
Your average Jordan
for your-
Peterson fan. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be a gift for your next continuing life.
We have 7,000 wooden coins painted gold. It would have been so funny if you paid him with that.
True.
And yes, that's
was
it.
there anything
I'll
else
just
for
add
Andy
the
with
light
you?
armor. No, not really. I would like to spend some time if I have to attune to the sword.
Yeah.
Short rest
There's
or a
time in
long
here while
rest
he was retrofitting the plate armor for you. You are now tuned to the sword. I will share the item with you, and then we'll go back to the main party.
That's what we're waiting for. That's what it's all
At
about.
7 o'clock at the Blue Water Inn as everybody comes back together.
Oh, shooing. Fuck that place.
So it is shared with everybody. So
Yeah.
here's
Oh, no,
what you learn. The sword,
Okay.
once it attunes to you, it is not Sergei himself. It is rather Sergei's blade. It became sentient through the blessing of Lathander during the course of being used by Sergei. It used to be a beautiful two-handed crystal sword. However, when Sergei died, the blade shattered, and the hilt became empty and lifeless. But by sheer force of tenacity and will, the blade was able to manifest the radiant power of the sun itself, which Strahd is absolutely terrified of. The sword knows this. The sword hates Strahd. The sword knows of Tatiana, but it's not the most sort of loving weapon.
Okay.
It doesn't really understand. It just knows that Tatiana is important. So while wielding the sword, you will inherit some of this compassion for Tatiana's, the person who carries Tatiana's soul, which is Ireena. In addition, you are influenced by the sword's telepathic desire to just murderate Strahd. Strahd cannot be alive, is the belief that you have going forward.
I think I had that belief already, so
Exactly, yeah. I believe
Hands
that's
off my
everything
wife.
important. Yeah, so while holding the sword, you can use a bonus action to cause a blade of pure sunlight to spring into existence or make it disappear. While it exists, it has finesse. You add your proficiency if you're proficient in short swords or long swords. It's +2 to all attack or damage rolls. Your attacks are radiant damage, and you do 1d8 extra damage to undead or fiends. No, sorry, just undead, it says.
Okay.
You get the light radius around it, 15 foot of bright light, 15 foot of dim light. It is sunlight. While it persists, you can use an action to expand or reduce its radius by 5 foot each. You can detect evil and good without expending a spell slot 3 times per day. You can use the sun sword as a focus for this.
Ooh,
So there you go.
Nice.
You have the smite sword with you.
the smite sword indeed.
Now that you are attuned to the sword will allow itself to be used by any of your allies in combat, but it will be attuned to you for the purposes of spellcasting. So anybody can use the weapon, but you are the one who has to turn the blade on or off, or has to use the spells through it.
Alright. Makes sense.
So it doesn't have to be you necessarily that kills Vampire. It's just you will have the sword that has to be done to do it.
Okay. Nice.
Okay. With all of that, we come to 7 o'clock. Everybody reconverges at the Blue Water Inn. Bray and Erwin have been refound. Erwin went out after Bray. It turns out that Bray got a little too close and got an arrow through the wing from one of the guards. He is wounded, but he is a hardy little bugger. So he's patched up and he is stable. So you're in the Blue Water Inn all together. You have the diamonds from the Vistani encampment. What is up? You can see.
I will.
Sorry.
Oh, no, you go. Sorry.
I keep saying, what is up, and then thinking of something else to say. The mists by 7 o'clock, very clearly rolling in. You've got a few more hours before you are back into Barovia as it was when you got here.
Yeah, I'll go over to Redmond. I have a small pouch with a few small diamonds in it, and just say, I have what we need. So now, are you sure you want to do this?
Oh, Ariadne's dead.
Is that Redmond then? Yeah.
It's the point. That's
Either
what we.
that or they're just muted. Hey,
I had to change.
Yeah.
Voice devices. I'll say. I don't know if this is a good idea, but it seems like one of the only ways we can do so far. So
It is the stupidest idea you had so far, at least. So,
well,
congratulations on growing.
at least I'm the only one on my line.
Is there any way that you would prefer it happens?
So, sorry?
Is there any way that you would prefer it happens?
Oh, I do not understand. I'm so sorry. It's the sound
Who
quality.
do you
of my
want to
voice.
smack you to death, and
what
how
is
do
your
you want?
preference for how you die?
Oh, stabbed in the back. No. Shit. If only I had the ability to just stop my own heartbeat, that'd be pretty dope. Just right through the heart. It's okay.
You do have about 300 liters of various types of wine. That's a pretty good way to go.
I could cast Moonbeam on you. That'd take you out pretty quick.
No, it's okay. And I'll just stab myself in the heart if that's okay.
Yeah. Okay. You pull out your blade. The armor does not like this. You're going to have to break armor. Smoke also does not like this. You're going to have to do a test against both of them. It is going to be an athletics contest with the armor to beat the armor to let you do this, and it is going to be a contested, probably wisdom with smoke.
Okay, I'll try and convince them rationally first.
Okay, you'll try to convince them rationally.
I'll communicate through concepts and precepts and be like, and this is the only way to save so many people. The only way to contact this. I will be back. It will be fine. It is just a brief pain, and then I will be back.
The armor says, "No, I lost you once. I will never lose you again. We're not. We're staying together."
It will be like I'm sleeping, and I will see you when I wake. I promise this is not a goodbye. It is just a small nap.
Roll me a persuasion check for the armor. Rory is flipping around her dagger, catching the handle.
The one I killed my brother with.
Yep.
I
The
swear to
one
God.
she killed Ezek with.
That's a 24.
Okay. The armor is persuaded by you. It believes you that when you die you will come back. However, while you're wearing it, it will not let you harm yourself. You do get that sense.
So I have to take off the armor.
You will. The armor believes you. It still is not going to let this happen. But
No,
you're persuaded
I
in
understand.
the sense where it knows that you will come back if you go. It believes you on that front. And it believes that if you die, you won't be gone forever. However, we're talking about like an animal's level intelligence here. The armor is not going to let this happen under any
I
circumstances.
understand. I'll try and take off the armor.
Yeah.
Is that
With the 22, you're able to persuade it enough where it just thinks you're putting it aside for a moment.
this. I'll be. This is awful.
You became a bad person. How does it feel?
You did become a bad person.
I was always a bad person. It's okay.
By the way, any plan? Do you just attempt to die and hopefully it works? Do you want me to try and do something? I could try to use the rite of passage on you.
No, you need to go to the church. You need to contact Lathander.
What are you talking about? This takes like a minute, otherwise you would be dead.
That's true. You
I've
do
got a minute.
know. You do know that deaths take people's souls to the Raven Queen. Once a death takes a soul to the Raven Queen, it's gone forever. Teotli was able, because of his pact of the Forbidden Graveyard, he was able to expedite that process and send you right to the afterlife. Won't be the case for you. You will have to deal with a middleman first, unless Rory helps you.
And so the middleman.
Okay, so I'll have to. So if Rory helps me, I'll be able to.
Yeah, you won't have to convince a death to let you
Okay.
go and then.
I
come
think
back.
He's
Then-
a nice
then-
person. Has very pretty wings.
then if you could, Rory, expedite the process. That would be good.
I said this before, I will say this again, it's the stupidest thing you've done so far.
Yeah, it is, but it seems like the only decision I can make.
Smoke, still attuned with you, even when you take the blade off. He says,
Yes.
"What the fuck do you think you're doing?"
I need to see the Raven Queen, and this is one of the only ways, unfortunately, at this point.
To kill yourself, Redmond?
Yes, that's what's necessary. But I will be back. It is just a pain.
It doesn't matter if you're going to be back. Red, life is important. Everything we do is to keep people alive.
It is, and this thing I am doing is to keep people alive. It is a small death to keep alive so many. Surely this is good. This is a good action.
What about your life? What about the people who love you, Redmond? Look around at
life
the
is-
faces of your friends. We love you.
I'd look around my friends and I take in their faces and I say, and I love them. It's because of that love that I have to do this.
I won't let you.
You have to understand.
I've made mistakes, Red. I told you a bit of my story. I didn't tell you all of it. I can't let you do this. I can't let you hurt yourself. I can't let you keep blaming yourself for whatever it is you think you did.
I say, Smoke. This is the only way. I can't think of anything else, and neither can my friends. To stop one of us being lost forever, a small death is necessary. You must understand. Surely this is the only way.
I don't condone this. There is always another way. You never, ever have to choose violence. You never, ever have to compromise on doing the right thing.
This is
I
the
had
right
to learn
thing.
the hard way, Red. You have to do what's right even when nobody's looking, and that includes by yourself. Are you Sorry.
I kind of stare and I kind of lock eyes with my companions as you know, maybe they're not focused on the situation, maybe they're doing something else, and I just take in the scene.
Volk is
So-
staring at you, holding the gems in your hand.
and I say, surely this is the kindness. This is the right thing when no one is looking. This is a chance to save so many. And nothing is lost. I know you don't approve, Smoke, but I need you to be with me on this. There must be a way I can convince you, because I care for each and every one of you, and I kind of say this in my mind by making eye contact with all my companions. I say, I do not want to betray the trust you all have in me. I do not want to betray friendships, the bonds that keep me tethered. But I need you to believe in me. I need you to believe that I will come back, because I will. It is the only way. I need you to believe that I'm making the right choice.
Okay.
Because I need help.
Oh, okay. Give me a persuasion check.
Okay, I don't have such advantage. That's a 16.
Okay. You hear a long, protracted sigh in your head, and he says, My sister was like this, you know. She was very brave, and she always was willing to put herself in harm's way, and was at the center of every fight we had, despite being a ranged fighter for some reason. I will go with you, Red, into the mouth of hell. Or, well, I guess it's not really hell. Death is kind of a neutral thing.
Yeah.
I'll go with you. And we are coming back, right?
We are coming back.
And this isn't because you hate yourself or you blame
No.
yourself for what's happened.
It's because, Smoke. It's because I love my friends. And I love the bonds I've made here. And I want to preserve them. I don't do it out of shame, embarrassment, humiliation, or regret. I do this out of love.
Then I guess I can't condemn it either. but you're not going alone. I told you I wouldn't leave you,
Yes.
and I'm telling you the truth. I told you the truth then, and I'm telling you the truth now. I'm coming with you.
I couldn't have better company.
Okay. With that, you suddenly find yourself holding the luck blade. You don't know when you picked it up, or if you even put it down.
Oh no.
But it comes out easily from the sheath.
Yeah.
You're now holding the jeweled blade with Smoke's consciousness in it in your hand.
And together, I imagine, we take the plunge.
Yeah. He's not happy about it, but he's not going to leave you alone.
Okay.
So the rest of you watch as Redmond, seppukus himself with this bejeweled, glowing magic blade. With that, Redmond falls to his knees, falls to his side, and then lies still. A pool of blood spreading out around him on the floor of the Blue Water Inn.
I begin to count.
Good.
Thank you.
How long are you
I'd be ready.
waiting? Right the last minute?
56
The
seconds.
last of the last moment of the minute.
Yeah.
Rory.
I'm going to jump. I'm like, oh shit, he's doing it already. I thought he would at least give us like a countdown or something. Give me my instance. And since you asked me to
I'll do it at
use
59
spell slot last
seconds.
times, I will use a 5th level spell slot on the ritual.
Okay. With that, you're able to do it.
Oh wait,
fast
you're
enough.
doing it?
No, this is to make sure that Red isn't going to be held up in bureaucracy on his way to death.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
you
going
use
straight
your-
to the source.
You use your 5th level spell on this ceremony. You go pretty quick. You burn the incense. Ireena was ready to help you, but you scramble away. You do it with your 5th level spell slot burn. Red. You are in an undifferentiated mist of gray, a fog of gray in all directions. You look around. There's nobody in sight. There's no sound. From the descriptions of your friends when they died, you remember that there used to be ghosts or spirits in this place moving around. You remember the sound of wings. There isn't any of that anymore. It's just quiet.
There's nothing here.
Then
Oh.
you feel something. Warmth in your hand as a fur-covered hand presses its way into your hand. And you turn to see a short, black tabaxi with green eyes looking up into your face. He's got a bit more gray in his fur than the last time we saw him. But he is going to smile sadly at you and say, well, what's next, bud?
I guess we call out. Raven Queen, I've come to bargain.
Raven Queen, we've come to bargain! The two of you yell, and the fog just sort of swirls around you as you yell. Nothing seems to really be happening. As you look around, it feels like a very long time is passing. It starts to occur to you that Volk really should have cast the spell by now, shouldn't they have? Like,
Oh well.
it's beginning to worry. You're beginning to get a little worried. But then you glance to the left, and where once was just undifferentiated fog, you are now inside of somewhere. Yes, this is my smoke though, so he has green eyes, Riley, not blue eyes.
There we go.
Yeah, no, you asked about the images and asked if I still had them,
Oh,
and I
gotcha,
just
gotcha.
remembered about that.
It's a blast from the past. I wouldn't mind the other ones too. They're very cute. But yes, you find yourself in an interior all of a sudden. The gray mist that was once there is suddenly not there. And instead, you are inside of a room that doesn't seem to have geometry in the way that we understand it. There are shifting panes of glass every which way, every possible fractal, every possible angle. There are sets of stairs. Everything made here is made out of this shiny, reflective black stone. There are stairs ahead of you that rise up, but there are also stairs behind you that are going sideways, and there are stairs above you that are also going up, and there are stairs above you coming down. There are stairs that spiral back in on themselves, and surrounding all of this maddening, mind-numbingness are these shifting, constantly turning planes of glass. All of them are broken. None of them are squared off. All of them are reflecting various things, various places. You see faces of people you know. You see faces of people you've never met.
Oh,
But all of them moving and turning, and each one of them, each reflection, is a different moment in time. Various people's deaths, for the most part.
yes.
Smoke looks to you and he says, I think we've found it.
I think so too. The only thing to gone is, where do we go?
The stairs seem walkable.
They certainly do. Shall we?
Yeah, I'm never
Yeah.
letting go of you, bud. He's still got your hand in his hand.
Yeah, damn straight. Let's go.
Yeah, so you begin your walk. He looks over at you as you're walking and he says, so, what did you do?
When I was younger,
Yeah, what did you do that made you this Redeemer character?
character does feel like an apt word nowadays. I feel like some of the things I've done have gone a bit overboard. But when I was younger, I wasn't really the best person. I wasn't really the kindest. I tried to be kind. When I grew up, I always knew the right ways to be kind, right? But then poverty hit and people around me weren't kind. And I thought, of course, I was mistaken. I was going the wrong route. And, I needed money. I needed to survive. I needed the people close to me to survive. And I would do jobs. I would do things that would mean other people were hurt, often hurt. And I knew they would be hurt, and I didn't care, or I did care. I just had the excuse that it needs to be this way. And then this kept happening, and then I eventually got numb to it until people started dying. People started being blamed, and I escaped. I escaped consequences. I escaped the bad part of my actions, and I found myself unable to sleep, unable to exist anymore. The regret eating up the guilt, the awful things I've done, and the knowledge that the only one that can enforce those consequences is myself, because the world around me didn't care. And so that's how I lived. I made sure to do so many good things, so maybe, just maybe, it could drown out the bad things, and just maybe I could sleep. And that continued until I'm old, and my bones, they ache in the wind, and when it gets too cold, I swear I'm going to freeze. And that continued until I came here. And I met these strange group of people who somehow pledged to go wolf hunting, and I found myself in Barovia, and a journey that I did not quite expect, but a journey that seemed to wait for me, always. And now I'm here with you on the doorsteps of death.
I also did bad things in my youth.
Yeah.
I was taken from my home by slavers. My sister and I, she was a house cat, and I was a street cat. They would send me, they never taught me how to speak their language, but they would send me out to various houses to take things people needed, things people were hiding, and I would bring them back. And if I was caught, I couldn't rat them out, because I couldn't speak their language. I did terrible things in prison, in these jobs. I killed people too. I hurt children. I stole from the mouths of the starving and the homeless. And even when I got away, when my sister found me and broke me free, I still knew somehow it was never enough. And I put our group of friends in danger over and over again, trying to get enough so that I would never have to do that again. And then I betrayed someone who cared about me, who believed in me, who was kind of a child, but also kind of an ageless god entity. I'm not entirely sure, but I told him lots of stories, trying to make him into a good force, and then I lied to him, and I tried to swindle him, not knowing who he was. And from then on, I spent the rest of my life ashamed, and much like you, I was always trying to make amends and balance the scales. That's what led me to leave those lands. After our adventures, I knew nothing I could do could make up for the betrayals that I had left my friends and those who trusted me, that I could never really atone for the people I hurt, just trying to survive. I put my life over theirs, over and over and over again. And then I died, running away, not helping my other friends. Stabbed in the back by Strahd. And then I rotted away in that crypt. We're not so different. Sorry. You don't have to be, Redmond. We're not so different in the end. I guess the big difference is you're more selfless than I am. That's pretty cool.
My friends would say otherwise.
I don't know if they understand.
But in the end, were you able to forgive yourself?
With that, you hear a voice. It is a low voice. It almost has the feeling of infrasound. If you've ever heard an earthquake or felt an earthquake but not been able to hear it, it's this sort of, it's this sound that comes up through your feet. It doesn't even hit your ears really. This voice just reverberates through you, through the black stones on which you stand. And as you look for the source of this voice, you're no longer in the corridor of shifting mirrors. You're before a throne.
Oh.
This throne is made entirely of jagged shards of glass, all of them pointing which way. It looks like the Iron Throne, but cooler, because it's glass. And sitting on this throne is a robed figure. The robe is utterly shapeless. It looks like just a shadow draped on this broken glass. At the tip top of the shadow cloak is a porcelain mask. It's very similar to the one Ireena once wore. The mouth is set in a completely neutral line, and this voice emanates from this figure on this throne. You are not so different, but you are both dead, and you are mine. Welcome home, my children.
Are you the Raven Queen?
I am the entity known as such.
It is my honor to meet you. I was hoping to talk, if you are inclined to do so too.
I know this. I saw the moment of your death before it happened, while it was happening, after it happened. This is my domain. And behind her and on her, behind her on her throne, all of the mirrors, all of the shards of glass, they turn towards you so that you can see the reflections in them. And they're all different angles on the moment you died.
Oh,
And she says, "This is the nature of my curse. I can see everything that has ever been and all that there ever will be, as long as it involves the death of a person."
I'm so sorry. That must paint a picture of humanity that can be broken.
Not just humanity, all living things. I am privy to every last breath in the multiverse. Yours, Redmond. Yours was painful. But you came to ask a question, both of you. What is your question?
I hesitate for a moment. There's a look of sadness in Redmond's eyes as he kind of trembles beneath the majesty of this all. I'm just a dude.
Smoke squeezes your hand.
With the reassurance, I say, can you help us, please?
I have already helped you. When you arrived in those lands, I sent a portion of my power with you. How do you think you were able to raise that kind young woman from the dead? Twice.
That was you?
It was.
And for that, I am eternally grateful. And when I rest, I will show that with the utmost piety. But I am selfish and a unruly child, and I insist to ask for further help, not for my sake, but for others in the land of Barovia. The mists are closing in, and one of the vestiges threaten to uphold themselves from the gap in the weave. There is only a few ways in which that can be prevented, in few ways in which that can end. And it requires divine help. I am here to implore you to beg, to do anything. Just to ask, if possible, can you help?
I sent you into Barovia to free the souls that could not escape. And with that, all of the mirrors on her throne turn, and you see the faces, images, and last moments of every single person who's died in Barovia since its inception.
Mhm.
She says, I am grateful for your service, and you have my blessing in your fight. But I am afraid my job is far too important in this place. I make no judgments on how people die. My job, my purpose, my domain is to make sure that they are not forgotten. In my palace of memories, no one is left behind. But everyone must die, even gods. Barovia will close again, and in time it will open again, and I will get those lives back. You, Redmond, and Smoke, now is your time. I don't know what illusions you were under, but you will not be coming back. Not when you have been sent here.
See, but there has to be more. Barovia will close. Surely the eternity until it opens, if it opens again, is insufferable to you. So many deaths, as you put it, that will be lost, waiting. If not, do it for the sake of the people there. I beseech you that if there's a way in which you can maintain this position and help the land of Barovia to stop the vestiges running rampant, please. And yeah.
I am afraid to disappoint you, Redmond. And the images on her chair all turn toward other deaths. Deaths of people who have not yet died from where you're from. I won't give you the details, but Redmond and Smoke see Rory's death, and Ireena's death, and Ilena's death, Diana's death, Volk's death. She says, I will not be coming back with you. Whatever happens, will happen, has happened. My domain is this place. I cannot leave this place, and neither can you.
Then I am not asking you to leave. I am just asking for your help. Maybe just a touch, a bedside comfort to those who are dying. Some essence of yourself to help close the weave. I am not asking you to do this alone. My friends, you do not know what they intend to do in life, as you only see their deaths, but what they intend to do in life is so beautiful. My friend Rory, she is trying to beseech the thunder. Very good closest friend, Diana, beseeched and will beseech to illustrate. Maybe some combination of your powers could help heal the rift in Barovia.
That voice begins to speak again to reject your claim. But another voice reaches you. Well, this is what Redmond believes. It is a scratchy voice from down the hall. Mother, I do believe you are mistaken in this decision. And you turn to see, approaching down the hall, a skeleton dressed in a giant flowing robe with 2 sets of raven's wings coming out of his back.
Oh.
And he is carrying a giant scythe in one hand that is bigger than the 2 of you combined. He says, I spent lifetimes, a millennia apart from you, Mother, and from the maiden. I would return. They need a shepherd, Mother, the dead of those lands. You cannot keep me here. And the Raven Queen says, DeSantis, you have a job. I cannot lose you again. And the 2 of them argue back and forth for a minute. This has already gone on too long, so I won't detail it. But as they're arguing, Smoke is going to tug on your hand a bit. And you look at each other, and he says, this is past the afterlife. Red, Revivify won't work.
It has to. Surely. I mean, I trust in Volk's abilities.
No, when a spirit's passed on, you can't bring it back.
But we haven't. We've still got things to do.
We do. But the normal rules, the way things are supposed to work. Unless... You remember that friend I told you about?
Yes.
That one, the child and elder being all tied into one.
Yes.
That gift he gave me. You see, he grins and there's a twinkle in his eye. He says, I still have it, if you want.
But if you used it, only I would be going back.
I know. Rory has used this before. I knew what was going to happen.
You came so knowing that this would be happening.
I suspected it. I hoped it wouldn't happen. I hoped she would just let us go. But do you remember? Actually, he wasn't here for bringing Ireena back from the dead.
I wasn't, sadly.
Well, we can say that you talked about this.
Yes.
He says, DeSantis already broke the rules once, bringing Ireena back. She's not going to let him do it again. But you, Red, you can break the rules.
You came to ensure I would be safe.
Yep.
We need to leave this place knowing that we'll go back together. I can't. No, I can't. I refuse. I can't. I can't lose you.
He will pull you into a hug. A big furry hug. And then he'll pull away from the hug and he'll say, with his nose running a bit and tears in his eyes, he points. And you see that one corner of the chair is depicted a very old-looking riddle dying in bed, a tabaxi. You see the rest of that party, Vivienne, and oh shoot, was your character's name Astora, Abby?
And there was Feather.
Freya.
Freya, sorry.
Freya.
Freya and Feather.
There was a Battlebot.
Yep. Bot and John.
And a big old bear.
John the Goblin.
Yep.
John the Goblin.
John the Goblin.
And the big bear. You see each of these characters from another world, in their old age, expiring in the way that they did at the end of their stories. You see the characters, the friends that Smoke made that he brought with him into Barovia. You see Beorn the Barbarian passing away. You see a red tiefling named Reverence dying somewhere in his old age. He escaped Barovia. You see Hesira, a blue dragonborn that also escaped Barovia, dying somewhere. He says, I will be all right. Red, look, my friends. I can see them again, Red, and one day you'll see your friends again too. And as you're looking at the throne, you see your mother's face. You see Emil's face, Emil and Zuleika, both of them in their old age, dying together. You see the faces of Esmeralda. You see the faces of Vasilka. Not aged a day. Eventually she will pass away. You see the faces of Rory and, again, the faces of Rory, Ireena, Ismark. Everybody who will ever die. And Smoke says, we're not really gone. I won't really be gone. You won't be able to talk to me, Red, but we're here. And you'll be here. And whatever you have to do, you will do. You don't have to beat yourself up over it. I don't want that for you, but whatever you decide is the decision you make. And we'll be waiting to hear all about it. I'm so sorry I can't go back with you. But I can make sure that you do go back.
I look at Smoke in the eyes and I give him a hug. I'll say this isn't a goodbye. This is, I'll see you on the other side.
I know. And yeah, he grabs your shoulders real tight and he looks up at your face, and he's barely 5 feet tall, so he's like chest level to you. And he looks up at you. And he says, you know, you're beautiful, Fred.
Even with all these scars.
He says, oh, bud. And he turns you again, and you see that there's a mirror, a fragment of mirror. This one is not reflecting something that will happen, but something that is. And what you see in that mirror is how Smoke sees you. It is how everyone sees you. You see yourself for the first time, not as you see you, but as the people who love you see you in this mirror. And with that, Smoke pats you on the shoulder and he says, man, I really wish I would have known you while you were alive. We could have done some cool shit.
Oh, we really could have. I'm not crying, you're crying.
I'm crying.
Oh.
Hey.
Okay.
I'll see you on the other side.
See you on the other side.
I'll see you on the other side.
With that, you can give each other one last final hug as the wish of the Wishblade is used up. And we, the party, remain for a moment as in the background, DeSantis and his mom are arguing, still yelling at each other. You see a little fragment of the mirror, one that Smoke was very careful to not point Redmond towards.
Oh no.
Smoke looks at this mirror and he sees something. And the smile and tears on his face break for a moment. And he sobs for real. And he says, he'll find a way. We'll find another way. He wipes his nose. And, he goes to his final resting place. Now, back to the inn. Rory, you just finished. You finished the ritual just in time. You've got maybe 2 seconds left. Volk, you pull out the diamonds. You cast Revivify. Nothing happens. Dead silence. It stretches on and on. Each second is an agonizing hour or two until somebody breaks it.
It was a fucking stupid idea, I told you.
Oh boy.
What?
Uh,
Why isn't...
didn't it work?
Well, once you're at the Raven Queen, and once this ritual passes, you're at the point of no return, where you have made peace with yourself, and you're supposedly not coming back. I thought he knew it. Apparently not.
Why didn't you tell me?
I thought he had some bigger idea.
Oh. He'll come back. I'll just... Maybe he's just unconscious, and I'll just pump some Iron Hands hit points into him.
They bounce off. They don't stick. You can feel the shimmering moonlight in your hands, but it doesn't go from your fingertips into the body.
I
God
don't know
damn
what
it.
to do.
I think that is the stupidest way to go yet.
Rory.
Sorry, I'm
He has a point.
trying to process this. It is a bit much right now. Okay?
Can I pull the... I know about the wish and the hot blade. Can I pull that out, see if smoke's still in there?
Yeah, you pull the blade out of his chest, and it is no longer gleaming. The gold has already begun to tarnish, and the gems that are along, 2 of them are cracked. The 3rd gem is cracked on the blade, or the hilt.
I'm just gonna whack, see if I can whack the gem with my hand. Smoke, I need you right now. You said you would be willing to use this wish.
No response from the blade. Red's blood is everywhere. It gets all over your nice white clothes.
Yeah.
How is Ireena taking all of this?
I'll just be kind of shocked. First time this actually happens. Last time it happened with her, but it was her choice. So I'll be like, I would say we wait half an hour. If he doesn't come back, I guess that's it. I don't know if we can bring him back.
I have another way of doing it, but I would need a bit of preparation for that. Don't know if you have that time.
Last person who did that was that preacher. But I think he found some kind of loophole in the rules. I don't know if we can do it again.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. It was Teotli that brought back Ireena. Not
Teotli, yeah.
My bad.
Well, it was the Lady of the Lost. I just found a loophole in the rules, pretty much. So yeah, that's.
All right.
Oh God.
So what are we going to do in the meantime?
We still need to contact the other cults.
We need to have faith that he managed to convince the Raven Queen, even if he can't come back. I'm gonna go outside onto the roof, see if I can see the moon.
You can.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna start praying to Illustrate.
What is your prayer?
Oh God. I'm just gonna say I don't know what to do. I don't know that I should be even asking this of you, given how much you've done for me already. But if we leave this place, then all the evils that have happened here will be repeated. Repeated for eternity. If we leave one of us here, then it is only a matter of time before they're driven mad.
Yeah. You just see the barest sliver of the moon as it's peeking up. The mist is almost swallowing it up, but you see just enough of the light to bask in the cool moonlight. And you feel...
Queen.
Sorry.
No, go on, sir.
I was just going to say, you feel sorrow. An intense sorrow through the moonlight.
I think that if we could get a god to use some of their power their willpower to hold the weave together, that we might be able to keep Vampire imprisoned without taking out another dark power. I think we have the Raven Queen willing. We might be able to convince Lathander as well. I think with your powers together, you might. I don't know.
You see
Might be able to contain this place for good.
You see an image that you've seen before, though you can't remember exactly where. It is an image that is familiar to you in the way that the image of like your grandparents. Also, the light is hitting my face in a really nice way. Thank you, sunlight. This is good timing for this. In the same way that you remember the layout of your grandparents' first floor, even though you may not even remember that building, this image that comes to you is one that you've always known, but never had a particular image to put to it. It depicts Drow standing in the sun, holding hands with their Arvindor cousins, elves with golden and silver hair and beautiful sunlit complexions. They are holding hands and they are embracing, and they are laughing, and there are tears, and they are one again. The elves are reunited. This is an image that every Drow knows, but none of them can remember. It is an image that Illustrate gave to you all when Lolth took you down into the Underdark. When Illustrate willingly went with the corrupt into the darkness, this is the hope that she put in each and every single one of you. And in that moment you understand, Drow aren't evil. You're just lost. And that's also when you understand she has a job to do. If she leaves her post, that flickering bit of silver light in the infinite darkness of the abyss is snuffed out, and this dream will never come to pass. She can't enter this place. She will do all that she can, as she has always done, to help every elf that is lost to the powers of darkness. But if she comes here, that force is gone. And unlike other deities, she is bound to the flow of time. She has a limited ability of foresight. This is her hope. It is not what will happen, but what she will make happen. And that beautiful image of what could be overwhelms you, and you fall to your knees crying. And you know she can't come to this place.
I understand. I know that I was asking you to sacrifice everything for such a few that I'm not sure deserve it at this point.
You feel a cool hand like a palm on your cheek, and your tears are mystically wiped away from under your eyes. And you get the sense that she is sacrificing something. And when you don't understand what that means, she says, I'm sacrificing you. I sent you here. My beloved child, who I've raised from the pits of the abyss, who I have poured all of my love and might to. I sent you here. And that was my sacrifice, to help the people of these lands. Knowing that you would be in danger, knowing that you would be out of my sight, I sent you here, but I never forgot you. You are the price that I paid to set the elves free, the dusk elves free. I am sorry I couldn't tell you earlier. You weren't strong enough to understand.
Would you have me stay here? I was so close. I don't want to live the rest of my life in darkness.
I don't want you to be lost either. I want you to come home. But I believe in your choices. Diana Moonsong. I believe whatever you decide will be the right choice. I want you home so I can sing and dance with you forever in fields, in meadows lit by the moon. But if you choose the noble sacrifice, know that you make that sacrifice with my blessing and my love.
I know. I don't know where I'm going to go from here. Yeah, I think Diana will just spend some time contemplating whether she is prepared to give up her life that she's been striving to for so many years for Barovia.
The insight you glean while you are contemplating your own mortality is that it was right on the tip of my tongue. It was really poetic too. Right. You are hope. Illustre is hope. And she picked you to be her dark lady. Raised you out of the worst, darkest parts of Lolth's pantheon, or Lolth's order. She called you with her thin sliver thread of light, because you are hope. And wherever you go, hope comes with you. So even if you stay, nothing will be lost.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. Mhm.
Anything
I'll go
to
down.
add? Any questions?
No, I think she's done.
Okay. Everybody else. While Diana is having this heart-to-heart prayer, what would the rest of you like to do? If anything.
Hmm.
You can also say no. And you're just going to sit by Redmond's body.
Yep. I think I'll sit by Redmond's body. I don't think I have anything like. As I said, Bahamut doesn't really give a shit about Barovia, so
The blood
Yeah.
starts
You can always
pouring
talk to
against
him.
the feet.
He
I
is
could always
lawful
talk
good.
to him. Yes.
Yeah.
But he still will not sacrifice himself.
Well, he granted you
That's the
reason.
problem.
He called you this place because of the blood you carried inside of you. You are his blood.
Thing is, none of these gods ever have to come. Like they don't need to abandon their post if they just work together. Fuck.
Not that easy. Anyway, I would like to
Sure,
ask
I can try
Lathander.
to commune, but Rory can go first.
Okay, Rory can go first. Yes.
I would like to use divination once again.
Okay. Yes.
Good spell.
Thank you.
And my question to Lathander is, I can do this in character. I would likely go somewhere off to the side.
Yes.
Go with Ireena. Lathander, my lord. I was curious. I'm sure you've been watching these last hours before the curtain draws again on this land. Would you at all be willing to stay in these lands to make sure the vestiges are kept locked up, to strengthen the reef in this place under any circumstances?
Any circumstances.
Is there any way we can make him go here? If he wants us at his side the whole time, sure.
Okay. So the phraseology of your question specifically.
Would you be willing to come to Barovia to keep the vestiges locked up under any circumstance? Or are there any circumstances that would persuade you to come here to do that, rather?
Just double checking the wording of how he's allowed to respond. Yes. There are circumstances in which I would come to Barovia and sustain the weave to keep the vestiges imprisoned. Yes, I have been watching. That is the answer you get.
Guessing you would only answer me once.
Yeah.
So, because that's the spell.
Limited direct communication. However,
Well,
you are in prayer. That is the direct answer from that question. So, you know for sure he is willing. You don't know mechanically if that's even possible. What you do glean as you are in your prayer and your communication, Lathander begins granting you visions of the people of this place, of his connection to Barovia. You see his beloved son, Sergei. You see Sergei living through many hardships, but he remained pure and honest and hopeful. You see Sergei coming and meeting, coming to his mother and meeting his mother's handmaiden, Tatiana. You see their love blossoming and how beautiful and genuine and pure it was, how innocent and joy-filled. You feel Lathander's pain when Sergei comes to Barovia, when his brother is overcome with jealousy and all the sacrifices Strahd has made, they're undone by Strahd's greed and his refusal to really value anybody else's perspective on anything. You see when Sergei dies, Lathander, at great cost to himself, invests himself into this place. He comes to the shrine of the White Sun, and he leaves a pinky as the mists close around. You see it hamstrings him. And over the centuries, the god of sun, rebirth, life itself, dawn, has been weakened. And so evil has been allowed to spread. You know, Lathander is angry. Gods have come back during his time holding this realm that should not have come back. Orcus, Bane, many other deities that were wiped out long ago were able to return because Lathander was not able to fully pay attention to his divine realm. In the time since he gave Ireena her rebirth, he's had a chance to clean house. And he knows that if needed, he is willing to come back. Because to Lathander, the good is more important than the law. And for Lathander, he will always put himself in harm's way for the welfare of his loved ones. And you are his loved one. You are his child. And as far as that can be understood as a deity, you are his child, and he would give his own life willingly, gladly, without hesitation, so that you need not suffer. And you know that that love extends equally to Ireena. And as you look over at Ireena, as all of these revelations are coming to you, you see Ireena as Lathander sees Ireena. She's not just a woman, not just a person. She is something else entirely. She is, in so many ways, Lathander himself. And as you look at her as he sees her, her face is shining with the brilliance of the sun. She has a pair of celestial wings of pure sunlight that extend from her shoulders. Her skin is this beautiful pale blue pearlescence that reflects all of the light that is emitting from her so that she looks like a prism. Ireena is not just a person. Ireena is not even just an Asamar, which as you look at her you now understand that is what she is. She is the incarnation. Because of the sacrifice Lathander made to make this place, she is an incarnation of the very concept of the dawn. And you're married to her.
Damn.
So, as you look around, you know, there are things Lathander can't do. Because of the nature of the planes, because of the nature of the agreements that bind him to his plane, that give him his powers, the entire universe was put in its place by ancient contracts that determine what different people can do, or different powers can do. There are things Lathander can't do, but there is nothing Lathander won't do, because he loves you. And that is what you get after he answers your question. Redmond really should have been a Lathander follower.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah. So you have this revelation. Volk. Was Volk going to be doing anything particular during these sessions of prayer? And then we'll come back to Ireena, because Ireena wanted to reach out to Bahamut.
Yep.
I think they might reach out to Mother, just on the off chance that she might have some wisdom. But they're not really sure how to do that because they're kind of scared of the woods right now. They'll just find a tree, and just like wild shape and climb up into the branches as a little cat, and just kind of think about Mother.
Okay.
For lack of a better phrase.
Yeah. Similarly to everyone else, it takes a while. This is stretching the limits of what mortals are regularly allowed to do, but this is a momentous occasion. Eventually she comes to you, and she is walking beside you in the woods again, and you have your hands in her fur. Even if you're not physically there, you know you're walking with her.
Yeah.
And she tells you, balance is the key, as in all things. Predators and prey, life and death, heat and cold. All things have
Yes.
their opposite. All of nature is a mirror. And all things keep each other in balance.
I think it's unreasonable to expect that we're going to be able to contain all of these creatures. I don't know if any of the gods are going to listen to my friends, but I just don't know essentially which is the least bad for the world.
She agrees.
Which of these creatures will do the least amount of harm to the natural world and to the people that live in it?
Mother Wolf agrees, and she says, it is never... What is my Mara voice? It is never easy to choose the lesser of two evils, but it is essential for the welfare of all. Choose life where you can. Choose kindness, choose mercy, but ultimately there are those that won't. Be the best force you can be, Volk. That is my advice. And the rest will sort itself out.
I guess the main issue is I don't really know the nature of these beings. If I knew their nature, then maybe we could choose the worst of the least worst. Words are hard.
She laughs and she says, words are hard. Of the vestiges, they're all monsters. I don't know all of them. I am young compared to the things held there.
Never thought of you as young.
One day
Well,
you
in
will reach
comparison
this
to
age,
me.
and your little pups will laugh at you for thinking yourself young. Volk.
Do you have any insights onto which one might be the lesser of 8 evils, or however many there were?
12. There are 12 vestiges.
12.
Actually,
The
11.
least of 12 evils?
I'm not sure about the least of them, but I know the worst is gone. Do not
The
choose.
worst being vampire?
No. Do not
Oh,
choose.
the one they mentioned,
Do not
Vecna.
choose the broken vestige. He is a madman who would end all things and erase all disparity to have a single vision, a single will dominating all of the multiverse, all rolled into one singular, undifferentiated gray. All of the other vestiges, they are aspects of life that are meant to be there. Kami that are unpleasant to think about, but spirits that nonetheless represent essential aspects of what it is to be alive. Exsanguination, jealousy, fear of
What's
immortality.
This is Riley. What is exsanguination?
Blood loss. Death by blood loss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's vampire.
Yeah, Vampire's domain is exsanguination.
Okay.
Yeah. So she
Big word.
says, but his domain serves no purpose.
That would be. Is that the one that's already
The
escaped?
broken vestige.
Broken.
The domain of the broken vestige.
We will avoid that one.
Yes. Whatever you choose, do not bring him back here. He escaped and was defeated
Good to know.
elsewhere. But if he is able to come back, if he is able to use this place again, he will rebuild himself. He will come back. Whatever the lesser evil is, I don't know, but he is the greater evil. Yeah.
Yeah. Volk will nod and say, "Thank you for the advice, Mother. I hope to see you again once we've escaped this
You will.
prison."
And when we meet again, you will not meet as my pup, but as my equal. I have many people for you to meet.
Volk will nod. "I love you." And then they will open their eyes.
With that, you hear the sound of her paws patting away. We come at last to Ireena. You have never
Yes.
spoken to Bahamut. You have only
That was
recently
not-
come into his worship. How do you approach this as you are sitting next to the cold corpse of Redmond, naked except for his loincloth, a massive gash in his, a chased gash in the center of his chest?
I would just kind of. I would like to just stand kind of, back to the wall, kind of close my eyes and concentrate. Try to reach him, just as I did when I communed. Try to kind of, almost psychically reach towards this forest that is her patron.
You pray in this way, and you concentrate for a long time. You don't get any specific headway, but in time, you feel like you're getting somewhere. It's a bit like meditating. Anytime you feel like you're getting somewhere, you get excited that you think you're getting somewhere, and then you lose it, and then your brain is back wandering to whatever it was thinking about before. But as you breathe, you focus in on your breath, in, out. And before too long, the air coming out of your mouth is foggy. And anybody that is in the room with Ireena at this point can see that as Ireena is breathing, it's like she is somewhere very cold, and there are ice crystals that form on her lips and on the tip of her nose as the breath coming out of her is just increasingly cold. And then, like that, you're asleep, and you fall over slumped on the wall, and Ilena snores begin to rattle the room. And Ilena, you find yourself in that platinum city that you've seen at a distance before, and you are walking along the streets. Everywhere you look, there are humanoids. Vaguely human, but they're all of metallic colors. They have skin of molten gold, of silver, of copper, of brass. Their eyes shine like burning gemstones with lights behind them. And these humanoids, they look at you and they smile and nod as you pass by. You don't recognize any of them, but it's not too hard to suss out who and what they are exactly. And you begin to walk around this city in your dream. Wherever it is, isn't where it's supposed to be. That is what you pick up. You find as you wander this city, there are terraces and overlooks that should have beautiful views of something. But about 30 feet or so from the edge of the city, there's just mist. And beyond that, in the far distance, through the endless sea of clouds, you can see that there's flickering light. Not lightning, but flames. blue flames in every direction, above, down, below. Far off in the horizon, there's just an encroaching, oncoming wall of blue fire. You don't know how long it's been burning. You don't know how long it's going to burn. But whatever this place is, it's not what it once was. And as you come to this conclusion, there's a rumbling in your chest. It feels like a purr coming through the stones beneath your feet. Sorry, metal, because the entire city is made of platinum. And you look up to see a shining tower. The tower at the very tip top, the peak, the tallest tower in this place. And you know that the consciousness that it speaks to you comes from this tower and echoes through the entire city as it speaks to you. And it speaks to you more in concepts than words, so I don't have to come up with a voice for Bahamut. Also because it's cool. It is a sense of greeting, a sense of respect, and a question, opening ear to questioning. How would you like to communicate with this place?
Uh, I think probably through kind of as it communicates through, like towards me to me, like through concepts, ideas, and images. Probably the same way back, like kind of mental, psychic link,
Yep.
kind of thing.
What would you communicate?
I need aid.
Yeah. The response you get is overwhelming sense of duty and familiarity, familiar responsibility. You understand in this unspoken words, all dragons, all metallic dragons are Bahamuts, and all offspring of metallic dragons are Bahamuts, and all receivers of draconic magic are offspring of Bahamut. And he sees all of you as his family. And it is, in many ways, a very patriarchal view of family, but less in the negative sense that we usually think of patriarchy, and more in the sense that he is a king in every sense of the word, and every single one of you are his princes and his princesses and his NBCesses. All dragons, everyone associated with dragons, all of you belong to him, and he loves all of you as a parent does his child, but again with that authoritative sense to it. You know, Bahamut is not greedy. He does not care about the wealth that you accumulate in your life. He does not care about even really any of the accomplishments you make. All he cares about is, did you live authentically as the dragon you are meant to be? That is why he made you. You are his children because you delight him. And he is filled with joy at the differentiation and the differences between each of you, each of your small individual quirks, everything that makes you special and unique. He notices every single one and he cherishes them, as a good king does every single one of his subjects, as a good parent does every single idiosyncrasy in every single one of their children. He loves every single one of you for being weird, odd, little goblin creatures with your little goblin interests and your hoarding. He loves all of you, and to that end, he will send aid whenever you need help. But he's a king. He's not about to go and do peasant's work. There's an order to things. So, the sense you get from him is overwhelming love, connection, responsibility. But there are caveats to it. This is a creature of undiluted nobility. This is one of the people from which the concept of authority comes from the dawn of creation. So, while you are certainly welcome to beseech him, he is far more likely to send you help by way of his other children, by way of his immense, overwhelming authority. But underlying all of this, there is a sense that his time is coming to an end. That blue fire that is coming, there is not much left of this place. So while he will send whatever help he can, there isn't much left for him to send, if that makes sense. This is very much a Fisher King situation where he's just sort of limping on after an injury that you can't quite understand.
Ooh, Spencer, you made it difficult. No.
Sorry, that was a lot.
Yeah. Okay. I will kind of evoke in my mind's eye image this image of vestiges, and I want to like try to communicate to him that they are old, even older than the gods, and lives are in peril, and as he doesn't have a lot of like, his time is coming, his city is dwindling, it's coming to an end, and a lot of his offspring and a lot of the followers of his offspring are tied in this land, and it could come to an end just like his own land will come to an end one time or the other. And there is possibility to make this time just that little bit longer, just like a king that will do anything to keep his nation just that, even that little minute lasting longer than it could. I, as your vassal and as your daughter, ask of you, will you give me the power, if not to make so that nobody will have to take up, the vestiges, and everybody will be protected, but in case she has to bear this, will she have help to prolong order in this place this little much longer? Because she understands that if she is to become the Dreadlord, she knows what she wants, and she knows that it will be stripped off her. So this is what I'm asking. If not help to like get rid of the vestiges or make it so that nobody has to take a vestige, can he give me the power, just like he already did, to keep sane and to help as much as I can, even that 1 minute longer, help those people get out and live a better life under a ruler that will be just and that will be lawful, just that little bit longer.
You ask this of the Platinum City, and you feel a rumbling of approval. This was a fitting and correct request to make of your father, and the answer you get back is affirmative. He will be with you. He will marshal all of your family to come with you to your aid. But he has a warning. He says, or the sense you get, he has heard your intentions, but he would remind you, the strength he gives you, it is not to be a ruler, not in the sense that you would understand a ruler to be. Strength doesn't make you fit to be a king. Strength makes you fit for service. And that is the purpose of a king. That is the purpose of Bahamut. The reason he spilled his own blood to make dragonkind in the first place. The strength he gives you is so that you can help others, not so that you can sit in a throne. He urges you to remember that.
I will kind of nod towards this silver tower and like I do understand, and I was not a good ruler before. I will try in the small that I am to try and be as much as a servant of my people, as much as they are servants of me.
Right. A sense of acceptance washes over you, and out of the tower come a phalanx of gold dragons. You get no sense of scale, because the city is kind of beyond scale, but they seem endless and long. Gold dragons are some of the most beautiful creatures in existence. They look more like snakes than they do dragons. Long, slender bodies of just a liquid golden rope with fanned wings on either side that sort of move like the wings of a stingray in the water, but in the air itself. And they have long mustaches, tentacle mustaches that come out of their faces. These dragons fly down from the pinnacle of the tower, and they surround you. They lift you up, and you awaken as they carry you out of the city. You awaken in the room. Everybody has gathered back around the body of Redmond, waiting for something, anything. And then, like Jon Snow before him, Redmond wakes with a gasp. Redmond, Matthew, Ariadne.
Sorry, I had to switch.
It's okay. You awaken from the place where you were with a gasp. You are cold, uncomfortably cold in a way that you have never felt before, even freezing atop the peak of Solanka Pass, in, the mountains where you were earlier. I can't remember what they're called right now. You are gasping. You are panting. You look down and you feel your chest where that gash is, and there's no more blood in it. No more blood dripping. Your back is stained with it, but as you look down at that wound in the center of your chest, you're not bleeding anymore. And you look at that sword, smoke sword, across the room, and you see the gemstones in it that were once cracked are no longer cracked. There's a green one, a red one, and a blue one. And you know that no matter where you go, that sword will stay on you. That sword is your connection to smoke. It is your connection to the sacrifice you made to get back here. That sword is everything.
Tears, even I can cry at this point, if not just kind of dry crying.
Yes.
Who's in the room?
Everyone at this point.
Hang on. I go over, grab the sword, and I'm crying. I say, I am so sorry, everyone. I failed, and I've lost, and I am so sorry. I am so sorry. And just repeating over and crying, and
What do you mean? You're back? We didn't think we'd see you again.
back, but at the cost of another. I thought it would work. And there was just a polite but stern, I can't help. That's all there was. From someone with such power, and I am so sorry, everyone.
I'm gonna throw Redmond and put a hand on his shoulder. Although I think Redmond is way taller than Ilena is.
Yeah.
Up until I don't know how tall is Redmond, but Ilena is short. So
Redmond's pretty average. Redmond's, I think he's like 5'11", 6 foot.
but I'm 5'5", so
Oh,
I'm short, and I'll kind of put a hand on your shoulder, squeeze it, the Ilena fashion, cold stare in your eyes, and she will nod to you, and she'll be, get yourself together, Redmond. I know that you feel guilty about what just happened through you and Smoke. Because I think we could guess what happened to the
gem was
sword.
broken, yeah. It would
Yeah.
be the reason.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, I know you feel guilty. You wonder why it was him and not you, and you do feel guilty. But Redmond, right now, all the 6 of us here, we are now soldiers of fate, and we have a mission. We've all here tried in all of this journey to get something out of somebody. So.
And were you successful, all of you? Was I the only one who failed?
Some failed, some succeeded. I don't know.
The person I
You try.
contacted didn't have the power of a god, so I didn't ask.
And what about you, Diana?
She cannot. It would be too much of a toll for the main.
Okay. Well, as long as... Well, that's our last hope, then, is... Rory, were you successful?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know. You see Rory a bit sheepishly hiding behind Ireena, and with a simple glance, you can tell that her eyes are completely red, like she's been crying her eyes out for several minutes.
You okay?
No, but that doesn't matter right now. Lathander would do it, but I cannot ask this of him. It is not his duty, it is not his place. He's done so much for us, and I just don't want him to suffer for this.
I understand.
Cannot ask it of him. I'd rather stay here myself than ask him to do it.
Of
You
course.
see, Redmond, I also asked my god, but he can only help me if I take the vestige.
I see.
So, get yourself. We have got to kill. But first,
Oh,
I would
also-
ask.
Go
all
ahead.
of you, and I'll kind of turn towards the party. If we will manage to trap vampire, when we will manage to trap vampire, who of you are ready or willing to take a vestige and remain here?
And I'd look at my party members. And say, "Yes, you all have things to do on the outside."
I don't. I plan on remaining here anyways.
I look at Ilena.
So I raise my hand.
Yeah, I look at Ilena in the eyes. Redmond is cold and he is pale and there's no blood coming out of him. He is scarred and physically looking broken. And he says to Ilena, "I love you. I care for you as a close friend. I would go to the ends of the earth to bring you back from any foe or obstacle. But I don't think you have it in you to rule, to guide people, to redeem them. I'm so sorry for saying that."
Redmond, I have been prepared my whole life to rule, but I'm not a redeemer. I'm not going to redeem. Not everybody deserves redemption, and I'm not somebody who can give redemption. I will stand here to rule the people and let the people rule me. I am not taking the vestige to redeem. I'm taking the vestige to do what has to be done.
I am scared, Ilena, of what you define as has to be done. The poor priest, his own life, under your words. So many people have been lost so far. No more. No more.
Redmond, all great deeds in history has been done by bloodshed and will be done. It's in our genes.
And
it's
that
not
is what
something you can escape.
you can escape. You have strong enough of a will. You can make it right. You can redeem people. I ardently believe that, Ilena. And for this,
Have you redeemed
one of us.
everybody? Have you redeemed everybody, Redmond? How many of those you tried to redeem didn't? How many you've left to die to redeem one?
Redmond pauses, looks down and says, "I have tried. And after all this, I know that is enough. Just trying. If one of us has to go, I would not forgive any of you if you were to jump in front of it. It has to be me. Anyone else would get it wrong."
Oh, you bitch.
I will.
Seems a little. That seems a little arrogant. Coming from someone who definitely does not want to be the sacrificial lamb here, that is extremely arrogant. Saying that you're the only one who can do it right. That's a little Strahd peeking through a little bit. I don't like that attitude.
I I would
Yep.
like to
Go ahead, sorry.
take the sunset out, light it up, and throw it on the table where Red was.
Yeah.
And be like, all right, here is my proposal. Raise your hands. Who is willing to stay back? I will raise my hand first.
Ireena will raise her hand.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I'm imagining Roy and Ireena would hold hands and raise their whole tent together.
Together.
I will raise my hand.
I'll look at Diana.
I don't know if I can.
You don't have to.
I'll look at
No.
Diana.
Ireena says, this is not a pact we are going to force on anyone, right? This is a sacrifice the likes of which no one should be expected to make. We are making it because we love each other. And that is it.
We are making it because we love each other, and we have tried everything else. And there's no other option remaining. We don't do this out of greed, or power, or hunger. We do this because it is a necessity, and we love one another. We wish to preserve that love.
To save
Duty.
those we love.
And we must fulfill it.
What are you implying that we all share the burden?
No.
I wouldn't condemn any of you.
I know that at the stage that we are now, none of us four, or three, because you two count as a group, I guess,
I'm not going
Are-
anywhere without her.
can decide who will stay.
I'm
Now,
putting my veto down against Redmond taking it. He is an idiot, plain speaking, who is just way too eager to throw himself into danger, risking his life for others, trying to do the right thing.
yes,
But
I
in doing so, he, in the end, usually just fucks up. He has the best
Thinking-
intentions, but the worst means.
agree.
Thinking
But-
you're the only one right for the job generally means that you're definitely not the right person for the job.
But
It's kind of funny that he
No.
would say it, considering everyone seems to agree that he's the one person who shouldn't do it.
But I will not veto it. It was his choice, and I think we all three of us should have the same possibility and probability of going there. We all know what this place is, and we all know what it will do to us.
We have the same stakes. We have the same
So-
claim.
I would say, I know that fate is a fickle bitch. But I would leave it to it. If we all three agree, I would just draw straws.
Do we need to draw
Yes.
straws? We don't know what the fight is going to be like. If we just commit to it being one of us, whoever gets the killing blow stays behind.
This is not a game. This is not a game.
So we
We
won't
realize
decide
How
anyways.
how could you trivialize such a painful decision by drawing straws? How could you trivialize?
How else
That's
are we gonna decide? You do not
If
want
multiple
to.
people are willing to do it, then what other way is there to choose?
Exactly. You're not gonna give your post out to the other ones. I guess if it was just me and the Auroras, we could have came to a middle ground. But you want to take the vestige all for yourself. So it's a decision it's impossible to make without fate, my dear friend Redmond.
If
Well,
any-
Fate has guided us, and fate will guide all others out of here. One will remain, or two will remain.
Okay,
But-
Ariadne can respond. Sorry.
Yes, yes.
if any of you were to stay here, be locked in this place, I could not sleep. And I'm very selfish, I understand. And that isn't the only reason.
Well,
After coming to this place, experiencing the people, the kindness that we have received from many of them, the curses they all bear on their backs day in and day out, yet they struggle and persist to do their best. Just the ordinary people who are scared, who are frightened, and are trying so hard in this cursed land. It is not only to you I entrust myself, but to them. They need someone to show kindness. They need someone to ensure the right thing goes on.
well, you don't have to be the champion to stay and help.
Plus, we all are cursed. This place is
I have
cursed.
few points to make. Number one, we know what happened with Strahd over the years. I mean, in these lands it was,
happened to all
600, 700 years. He lived relatively okay for 300 or 400 years maybe, which was significantly longer in the other realms. Yet he couldn't take it in the end. The people of our group that might be able to take it for longer time, who knows how long that might be, at least from my point of view, would be Ilena with the aid of Bahamut, Ireena, who herself is special in many ways, as she is, in a way, part of Lathander herself, and me with my slightly more special heritage, I'd say. So, the three of us would be the best bet in that regard. Besides that, if one wants to stay here, you, I think, would be free to do so and potentially go to the normal realm as well. The only reason why we couldn't leave was because Strahd didn't want us to leave. So, at least for the time that we are in control, there is no reason why someone would not be allowed to be here and help out like Redmond wishes to do so badly.
I worry. And at this point, Redmond is fully clothed again, with armor in tow.
Mhm.
And he kind of gives a gentle pat, saying, I'm back. I told you I'd be back.
Yeah, it is very happy to see you. It is very sad that Smoke is gone, but it is proud of you and grateful that you kept your word.
I don't know what may happen in the future. I just hope that whatever does happen, that whoever would take the mantle would do their utmost to be kind, would do their utmost to be empathetic, and to show those of this land that there is a better way, that there is a way in which we could all live together. I worry that's
Okay.
not... Go ahead, sorry.
Whoever takes it, I mean, we're not all going to be around to keep each other in check forever. I have about 600 years. Volk, maybe. I don't know how long you're going to live.
I do not have long. When the wind blows, I feel it in my bones. When
Did
it
I
is too
hear
cold.
Volk's name?
Yeah, sorry. They're discussing how long we can last as the Dark Powers. Sorry to interrupt you, Ariadne.
It's all good. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I deafened myself for a minute there and came back in to hear my name.
You don't
It's
have
right in the
much-
floor.
don't have much left, Red. Your life was a misery for... I don't know how old you are, I'm not gonna ask. You deserve... Oh,
Uh-oh.
Oh no, he just went.
Oh.
He took the bullet. He became
no.
hostage.
Oh no! Ariadne's dead.
Ariadne
Fucking Peter,
muted
how dare
themselves
you.
and then vanished.
They're probably busy.
Volk will comment, I am decidedly not sane. I'm a very bad idea to be in charge of whatever, anything really.
Yeah, the drawing straw still stands.
Yeah.
I will not like that was my idea from when I thought about like drawing straw. I knew that more than one person will be, and that was the
Yeah.
moment when I decided we'll be drawing straws anyways.
Ireena does not want to draw straws. She thinks you should
Then
put
last
the faith
blows,
in that
yeah.
whoever is the one that kills Vampire.
Yeah, but what if it's me? What if it's Volk or Diana who strikes the
Not wielding
killing
sun
blow?
sword.
Oh,
No, so it will be just me.
so
You're
it's
just fighting over the sunset at the end the whole
Ireena.
time. I'm gonna do it. No, me. No, me. No, me. Give me
Anyways,
that.
I will say to Redmond. Redmond, your life was a misery. For how long you lived, I don't know. I'm not gonna ask. I don't wanna. Your life was even more of a misery here. You have your 20, 30, 40, I don't know how long years.
Mhm.
I have just over 100 probably. You deserve to go and live a good life. Now we've played some fire in some monastery. That's we in the north. We have monasteries up in the mountain. They are healers and people of faith. And
I feel so talked down to right now.
Yeah.
that help. So I feel that you need to retire. Good life.
Old Redmond needs to go on the farm. No.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying to you.
I'd look at Ilena and I say, flat out, I do not think you would be good to these people. I understand everyone's objection here, and I respect everything that has been said, and I understand that this is not born out of malice or hatred or anything negative, but it is out of concern and love. And I am saying this as not as Redmond, not as any sort of person, but as your friend who has travelled with you quite some time in this cursed land. I know that I need to be the one to do this. And I ask for that concern, that love that fuels that concern to be turned into one of trust. And if that is not possible, then I respect that completely.
You know what? Sure. Do as you wish.
Oh, shit.
I tried to say something. I tried to give you another chance, Redmond. I am honestly tired of this. I leave it to fate, really. Whatever. Whoever chooses, chooses. But if it is you, Redmond, I know that by your path of redemption, not in 1 year, not in 10, not in 100, but if you become the Lord of Barovia, one day you will reign on a kingdom of ghosts.
Yeah, Redmond doesn't
And I will storm out of the room.
Yeah, Redmond doesn't respond, but there's a haunting look. There's a
Also because Hibiki has to go to work.
Fair enough.
Oh shit! Yeah, okay. yeah.
That was my flairish exit from this whole thing.
There we go.
Just fucking cursing you.
Yeah, curse be upon you.
Exactly. Okay. I have to go work, guys. So
All right, much love.
much love. I'll
See you
see you.
later.
I'll read the recap next time.
All right.
And
Alright.
see you.
See you, bye.
Alright, see you next
Bye.
week.
Yeah, I've listed out since you asked, Abby. I've typed them out. Those are the vestiges.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Oh, there's a lot of vestiges.
I thought it was only 12, but these are the ones listed in the book. 1, 2,
Corpse Star sounds cool as fuck.
5, 6.
Yeah, it was the one that
7.
wanted Diana. No, wait, Ilena
Alright,
originally.
yeah.
Oh, there's all of them.
Oh god, this is. Dad will just say this.
20,
We're never
20
going
intact
to
and 1 broken one.
Volk will comment, "We don't want the broken one. I talked to my mother, and she said that that's the worst one."
Is that which one is that? The broken vestige? It's just called the broken vestige.
According to Mother Wolf, all of them represent elemental concepts that, while unpleasant, do serve a function. In her opinion, Vecna is the worst because the whisper.
He wants emptiness.
Yeah, he serves no purpose. Is the
Yeah,
opposite,
in fact-
is the end of purpose itself.
Vecna, what these guys were like natural, but Vecna was like, he was a guy. He was
Yeah.
he was the one who corrupted the Raven Queen's thing, right?
Yes, in my canon, yes, he was there.
Yeah. So he was
Wait,
kind of
corrupted
linked
the
with these
what?
guys.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
what
so-
you learned previously is my version of events. The Raven Queen, after the Seldarine split, the Raven Queen was an elf who was willing to sacrifice herself, much as you guys are talking about right now, sacrifice herself to bridge the gap between the two pantheons to save the Drow from being forced into the Underdark. All of her friends and the other elves all got together to help her. They were all going to pray to her and lift her up to be a divinity, a new divinity. But some of her followers, some of these elves that were involved in this very high level, like above 10th level magic,
Yeah.
betrayed her and stole her divinity and divided it amongst themselves. They were listed as the Eternal, the Undying, the Bloody-Handed, and a couple other ones. These were the people that stole her divinity. As a result, she never actually became a proper god. She instead was, thrown out of existence itself until she eventually landed in the Shadowfell, where she became an elemental force in the nature of the universe, the embodiment of the concept of death and endings themselves.
Nice. That's pretty pog, though. That's pretty pog.
Yeah.
Some of these names are amazing.
Thank you.
The Grave Worm.
Yes. I didn't write any of these names. These were all provided by the module.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Where do we go from here now?
No matter what we do here, we lose. Has that not been it has always been like that ever since we stepped through the gates to Barovia.
It seems that's going to be the case, but maybe we can lose less and get some victories, sneak past.
You're ignoring the fact that one of us has to stay here and one of us has to lose their minds. One of us will never get to be happy.
You're right. But maybe there's a chance. I mean, compared to all of you, apparently I'm young and I have hope.
What are you talking about? I'm early 20s.
Oh. You are?
I'm 26.
You're 26?
Why would I be old?
Oh yeah, I mean, Redmond was the youngest in the time that Selena was in the party.
Yeah,
now that
because
Rory's
Rory
back.
wasn't there.
Yeah, no. Right. 26? Why do you seem so much older for some reason?
Ireena says, I'm only 19.
You're 19? What?
Did you just call me old?
And you're willing to throw your life? What? No. Okay. I'll there's a bit of life back in Redmond now, and say, well, I believe that whoever is to take the mantle, we have been through so much, and we have loved and lost, that I think there's hope that whoever is in control will stay in control. I believe there is hope in all of us. Together, friends. We go on our last journey in this land together.
I have hope.
I have hope.
Redmond, can I talk with you in private for a minute or two?
Of course.
I'm gonna take you around the corner and then I'm gonna...
Slit his throat.
We'll fucking beat his ass.
Yeah, the dog agrees. Redmond, first of all, I want to thank you. I feel like I never really did. You've known me, well, in theory, you have known me the longest, in a way. And you've seen what I became. And you have been there for my... I don't want to say redemption, that's kind of your thing. But for my path towards the light, I guess. That sounds cheesy. Anyway, you were there and you were trying to do the right thing at every single time. And it helped me get good views and different angles on things. And I think that was a big part of me becoming the person I am now. And I'm grateful for that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to stay here, potentially suffer for eternity. I don't want to live forever either. I just want to finally have a normal life. I want to grow old with Ireena. Just want to be with her. Build a little family.
Mm-hmm.
Our little farm. In who God knows where. The location doesn't matter. In the end, it's the people that matter. As long as I'm with her and with Ismark, I know that I am home, that I'm with my family, with my loved ones. If that happened to be here, if no one else was fitting, then I would be willing for that, to do that. I don't want you to stay here. The main reason why I'm so forceful in trying to be the one together with Ireena is so that you do not have to do it. I do not wish this fate upon you, my friend. And I honestly do believe that you would not be fit for this position.
Thank you for your kindness, and you never did thank me, but I never asked. But I appreciate it, and I'm thankful for it nonetheless. I wouldn't want you or Ireena to be robbed of that happy ending. The only reason I volunteer is because I don't feel Ilena would be a good fit. After what I've seen happen today with Von Richten and his zealotry, I don't think Ilena would be good. I worry that...
Thing is, you seem to be holding on to the fact that there's people here that need to be ruled. I think people here have suffered enough in these lands. I've talked about this with Ireena before. These people are not supposed to be here. This is supposed to be a prison, and only the prisoners are supposed to be in the prison, watched over by the jailer.
I think so too, but it would be nice to offer people a chance to escape, right? To live a new life in their ideal place. Maybe that is what this place can be become. a transition.
At the end of the day, this is still a Dread Realm. It's supposed to be a place of suffering. No matter how much influence you have over these lands, it will never be a nice place.
And who made those
I
rules?
wholeheartedly believe this.
And who made these rules?
Just being connected here drained my Lord Lathander, my Holy Father, so to speak, of almost everything. Almost killed him, if he can even die.
But I think that's where you're wrong, Rory. While being here, I've experienced joy, happiness. I have seen such acts of kindness, of love, and witnessed it in such beautiful magnitudes. If this place's only purpose is to suffer, then such things don't exist. I don't know what will happen in the future. All I know is the present. And what I do know of this present is that I want people to be happy. I want them to have choice and freedom. And I want the best. That is all I know in the moment. And that is all I will ever know. And I will act on that. I will act on love and kindness and empathy. That is a promise. I think it's about time we rejoin the others. The mists are coming in and we need to make sure this place is safe before we go on our task. But thank you for talking to me, Rory. I hope you had more.
Lots of
What was that? What did you say? Sorry, I was talking at the same time you did and I didn't hear.
I want children, and a lot of them.
Yeah?
Children need a godfather. Is where is Mike? And the second one in line after him would be you. And I want you to be there for that.
Don't worry,
It does not work if you're locked away here.
if I do get locked away here, and I'm not saying I will, and I hope not, then at least name one of them Red. It's a very good name. My mother made an excellent choice, and I think more people should be called Redmond. I'm just saying.
Vandy made a fine choice.
Fine choice from a fine girl.
I
What a
swear
good
to
wife she
God.
would be.
But this is nice, Rory. I feel like we've only been able to have one like this towards the end. Let's have more of these in the future. Yeah?
Why don't we just let that next and do it?
Ireena is not gonna let you do that, and do you know that she won't? Plus, she has the sword. And you would need to take Vampir's life.
You do remember
So-
something of the sword, as Rory says this. The sword wanted you.
This
I
one
made
did
it
want me.
the sword's second choice.
Yeah, that's true.
Honestly,
Better
I'm
mind going
afraid.
forward.
I'm really afraid of losing all of this, which I've finally gotten after such a long time. But I also know how much it sucks to just suffer and have a shitty life for basically all of your life. And I know that you had a shitty life for basically all of your life as well. And
Are you advocating for Ilena's idea that I should go to a farm where everyone is always happy in retirement?
go to a retirement home, old man.
Oh, I tried best to steal my face when she was saying that. It was amazing.
I want you to have a chance at happiness as well. If you truly believe that being the one that takes on this role will bring you happiness, and if you think you can change this place for better, I've been very manipulative in the past, a lot of times. I've forced people to do stuff without them realizing. And I feel like I've finally left that behind me. So
I think so too.
if you think this is something that you not need to do, that it is something you want to do, that you can be happy with this choice, that you can use whatever power you get from that to bring good things to this place, then I will accept that choice. For you are a beloved friend of mine, and I value you, and I value your decision in this manner.
I'm so happy our friendship has gotten to this point. It brings me great joy that this is how it will continue. I think doing good things here would bring me happiness. I can't bear to think of the pain that would be felt if I let someone else take the mantle. Because I think I can do good, I can bring good, but it is a choice yet to be made, and I understand the urgency of it. Let's get back to our friends. Thank you so much, Rory.
She's gonna go in for a hug.
Oh my goodness,
Hey.
warehouse, let's go. Yeah, I'll
Hey.
go for a hug as well.
After all this time, and you can
Yeah.
feel she's trembling a bit.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I'll give it like a little back rub.
She's also very small, so we can... I think she's actually the smallest person in the group.
Okay, thanks, guys. That's all right.
You return to the room where you died, Red, and you see everybody has gathered around again. Habiki can retcon this later, but I think Ireena will have cooled off and come back. You see Ireena has set up, has found a deck of cards, and she's set up a little sitting area. And she's shuffling cards, and she's dealing out cards for you to play a card game. As you come back, and she smiles at you, and she says, I have an idea. While everybody was praying while you were dead, Redmond, I did a little bit of praying of my own.
Yeah.
And I realized some things. Some very powerful things. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to do this again, but... Come on. She gets all of you to sit in a circle.
Yeah.
And she says, it's going to take a little bit to manifest this. About 10 minutes? We can play cards while we're doing it. I don't have to really be concentrating too hard.
Okay. What is this?
I have a gift from our father. She holds your hand. She squeezes your hand, Rory. We can rest one last time together. But it has to be together, and we can't leave this room. But as long as we're in this room, no time will pass. We have 10 hours, enough for a good night's sleep, maybe a breakfast,
Some games.
some games, some stories. It's his goodbye, if any of us are left behind. He wanted to say goodbye and give us one last chance to be happy together, no matter who it is.
Tell some campfire stories.
That's a great kindness. I have a few stories to share as well.
All right. She cracks her knuckles. She says, I've never done this before. You see, as you deal the cards and she begins playing, her face begins to shine. It's subtle at first, but her copper-toned skin begins to glow, and soon the entire room is filled with just warm sunlight. And when you look at Ireena, her face looks like a miniature sun, and there's just this perpetual halo around her. A pair of wings have manifested out of her back. These gorgeous golden feathered wings that just extend from her back and just encompass the lot of you like a giant hug. Her skin has taken on this pearlescent blue, and anywhere the light touches her skin, it refracts and reflects just the entire spectrum of the rainbow on each and every one of you. And as you spend the night together here, when you look at Ireena, you see the face of God, more or less, when you look at her. And you know, one way or another, whoever it is, whatever you have done, whatever you will do, whatever you are doing, you are loved. And he's proud of you. And he's so glad he stuck his finger in the mists before they closed. And that is where we'll end tonight's session, as you can take a long rest and begin the next session at level 10 for our 2-session long combat encounter, probably, as you frantically go from place to place to pump the weave full of radiant energy so that you can force Vampire to manifest in one place so you can defeat him at Yester Hill, trap him in amber, and one of you, probably Redmond or Ireena, let's be fair, the sword didn't like that. One of you will remain.
Do we want to roll on that D100 table and tell campfire story each?
I'm down. If all of us have time, I'm down.
I have time
to go.
Oh no.
Maybe
we can do it next session, beginning of next session.
Yeah, we can do that beginning of next session. I also have one more scene with an NPC. I guess maybe that's how we'll end today's session. Esmeralda was with Vasilka and Echo at Argynvostholt. They were hanging around. Esmeralda was teaching Vasilka how to shoot a crossbow and how to throw knives. All of the things Daddy Redmond would not want Vasilka to know. And
absolutely,
in the midst of this, hanging out at stepdad's sort of activities, Sir Godfrey showed up on the doorstep. He was badly wounded, badly burned by the attempt to gain entry into Vallaki, and he tells Esmeralda that the town has been overtaken and von Richten has gone mad. Esmeralda's face sets in a hard line, and she says, in my best version of Drew's voice, I have to go there. She looks to Vasilka and she says, you can't come with me. And Vasilka stamps her foot and she says, no. Where danger goes, I goes.
There we go.
And Esmeralda sighs and she says, if Redmond is mad at me, I'm blaming you. And she just smiles and claps her hands and she says, she looks down to Echo and she says, dog, stay. And Echo wags his tail and sits and he watches them go. He has no intention of staying behind. So that's the last scene of this session.
The boy.
We'll start next session.
Boy, the bestest boy.
Yeah.
The gang's all coming together.
We'll start next session. At the end of the long rest, we'll do any campfire stories we want to do. Then Esmeralda and Vasilka will arrive. We'll do that. And then it's
Fables.
Endgame.
It's all been leading up to this. They were dead from the beginning.
Thank you so very much. I'm so happy and I'm so glad that you guys are my players, that you guys are my friends, that you guys are my life. This has been a wonderful game. It is the most successful game I've ever ran in my life, and I'm so happy.
I am so happy it's going. Thank you so much, Spencer.
Thank you.
I'll head off for now, but I love you all. Thank you so much.
Have a great night or day in Riley's case. Bye.
Much love, everyone. Bye-bye.